Up, bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes. Congratulations, Bert and Kebab. You got both medals today for being first and getting the question right. How's everyone doing? I'm hoping you've all been good. I know I've not streamed in a few days. I've basically been busy. Mainly because my brother was away on the holidays, so my mum needed someone to help around the house. I was like, cool, I'll visit for like a week or so. It means I couldn't stream or play much games, but fuck it, we back now. I'm gonna catch up on as many things as I can because I know I've missed out on a lot of things happening, and then I'll play some games. I don't know if I'll play Marvel Rivals. I'll probably play Alan Wake tomorrow because I'm very close to the end of that one, and I believe my game after that will be The Last of Us. But also I'll play some Monster Hunter when it comes out. I did play Elden Ring Night Raid, so there was a closed beta network test. It was very definitely a beta because there were definitely some problems with it. But I actually had a really good time playing Night Rain. It was actually really fucking good. I'm gonna go ahead and queue up some stuff for today. I'm just gonna check what else do I want to talk about. Because there was that PlayStation State of Play as well, which had a few trailers I'd been meaning to check out. Also, we got like a month until like Assassin's Creed Shadows when that comes out. Mohammed Ahmed, welcome on in. How are you doing? How have you been? I'm hoping you've been good. You know what, maybe we'll get some Assassin's Creed Shadows queued up. It has been a while. I took a week off because I was busy helping family with stuff, basically. I was like, cool, I can take a few days off.
Sloppy!
Sticking to a schedule is something I'm very sloppy with.
I was doing this. Such a lust for revenge.
I will say though, if you want to use those commands, I'd probably say wait until the right time, because you can only use them once per stream. So using them all at once, like it's better to like use it during whenever certain moments and stuff. Well, not Facebook, it was Instagram. That's what my stream title was in reference today. Mark Zuckerberg tried to kill me, but he failed. It was Instagram that he because they thought I was a fake person. Because they thought, hey, you must be a bot, so we're deleting your account unless you can prove you're real by giving us all your government information. And I have been banned on Facebook before. That is definitely true. Mark Zuckerberg has tried to kill me multiple times, and he's failed every single time. Because I keep coming back stronger and worse for it as well. But because my Instagram went down and my Threads account is tied to Instagram, my Threads account went as well, and that's really annoying. Like, dude, why would you make... But then again, like, we've always had problems like this. Like, do you remember every single time Meta servers go down, like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and everything else connected to it just stops working for the whole day? That's a problem with one company owning too much of everything, right? They own too many services that people rely on. So when one goes down, they all go down, because they're on the same fucking server. And it's such a problem. I always hate it when it happens. But it also means if you get banned on one platform, all of your accounts go. And even when you're banned for like... They even sent an email saying, hey, sorry, we got it wrong. Here's your account back. Sorry, you couldn't use it for like 2-3 days. Which, you know, is more than a little bit inconvenient. I'm going to queue up some videos about Elden Ring Night Ring, because I played a lot of that. And I really enjoyed playing as the Recluse character. I hope you get to customize the characters. But it's been really fun to play that. Have a look, what else have I got? I managed to get to gold rank on Marvel Rivals as well. I've been playing a lot of competitive. While I wasn't streaming, and I managed to get to gold on PC, and I've almost got to gold on console as well. I've been playing ranked on both platforms. Console is a lot easier than PC, that's for certain. But I think the players on PC are worse because they have a keyboard to type with. I have voice chat turned off on both, so I don't pay attention to anything they say.
That's disgusting. Naked pics online? Where? Where did he post them?
Also, I don't know if you guys are too clued in on YouTubers or book YouTubers, but there's one YouTuber who's like the biggest fantasy YouTuber who recently got outed as a abuser. His name's Daniel Green. I posted a lot about him on like Twitter and Blue Sky and Threads. You know what? There's some news about Asmongold as well. Being a terrible person, which is just usually the case. I'll cue some of that up. And then I'll do the Wordle as well. So if anyone has any suggestions for a starter word on Wordle, I'm more than happy to use whichever word people suggest. Otherwise, I'll think of one myself. If anyone has a good word they want me to start with, I'm happy to go for it. I think it probably depends on the time of day our stream's on. Because I stream during the evenings a lot, he probably goes with Chamomile because of that. I think that's where he gets it from. I don't stream during the morning very often. What was the question? The question was, I'm going to be doing the Wordle in a minute. If anyone has any suggestions for a 5-letter word to start off with, I'm more than happy to use whichever word people suggest. I've also figured out why Duolingo wasn't working in my browser recently. I think it's a problem with the cookies, which is always a pain. Block, that's a very good word, actually. I think I will go with that. Hang on, let me just quickly log back into everything, because when you do delete cookies, it normally logs you out of everything as well. Go. Okay. Alright, let me go ahead and post on all my socials first to say that I'm live, and then we'll make a start on the Wordle. There we go, that should be good enough. Let's play. Howdy, Sonics, how are you doing today? Watch this. Right, first word is going to be block. Okay, got rid of all the consonants at least. Pause. Oops, spelled that wrong. Okay, A, U, S, and E. I got quite a bit there. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to be catching up on a lot of things I missed out on for not streaming this week, and then I'll play whatever game I feel like playing. Hang on, why did those VTubers pop back up? I'm pretty sure I disabled that command. Be gone. There we go. Okay. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Is it source? Is that what it... No, it wouldn't be, because A and the U are in the wrong place. So it can't be... Because the A and the U are yellow, it means the right letter but in the wrong place, so it can't be A-U. Saute would have been a good one, though. Right, S-U. Try that. S-U something... Something E. Suave. That is actually a good one. I think that's it. Holy shit, you got it on the third one. In fact, since you managed to get it, I'll gift you the medal. I'm not sure if it'll work. Hang on. James the Cat Boy. Nope, he just gives it to me instead. Okay. You know, I can just give it to Restream Bot, and he'll keep hold of it for you. Anyway, GeoGuessr time. Oops, wrong button. GeoGuessr. There we go. Oh, hang on, I need to log into it. Let's chat. Just so no one steals my my GeoGuessr account. I'm sure everyone would love to do. I do not want to play. Sorry, pay for it. Let's play. Here we go. Round 1, let's see how well we do. This might be the UK. No, it's not. That's not English. Then it must be somewhere in Europe. To be fair, Stanix, in that time, the quality of VTubers has definitely gone up. Because back then, like early 2020s, there was only a handful, and only like a really small handful of them stood out. But now, generally, because obviously things have become much more available, like in resources and stuff, people have just made better content as VTubers. I'm going to get there just in case I run out of time, but I don't think it is going to be there. Let me try and find what language is there. Or what country this could be. BE Belgium. That's where we are. It's going to be Brussels. I think it might be. It looks a little too shit to be Brussels, though. I thought Brussels would be a lot nicer than this. So it could be somewhere on the outskirts of Belgium. Is that yeah, it is. Black Panther, hell yeah. I don't know why they censored his face. No, is it? I thought that was King T'Challa for a second. No, it wasn't. Because the face was censored. No, Peanut, okay. Salon Maximum. That sounds like a place that'll give you one hell of a cool haircut. You know what? Fuck it. We'll lock and get in. Alright, yeah, close enough. Yeah, because it started off in Japan like a sort of like a subculture of idol culture, wasn't it? And very honestly, a lot of fans of people who are hello Ryan Alexander, how are you doing over on TikTok? I am still around, yeah. No, but it did start off sort of like an idol culture sort of thing, and a lot of fans of idols who then sort of transitioned over to VTuber fans aren't the best people, so it did give a negative reputation at first. When you see the people who liked VTubers and you realize, oh, these people suck, that means there's probably no reason to be watching these weird anime girls, right? But like over time, when we've got more variety in the whole like scene, things have gotten a lot better because now normal people are watching. In fact, I watch on occasion Amelie, who does anime covers on YouTube in English, because I really like her music, and she's also a VTuber on Twitch as well. And occasionally I will watch her because I do like the content she puts out. I don't know what Rainbow is, James. Let me look it up. Whoops. What is Rainbow? Oh, this guy. I don't tend to follow people who play. I only do the daily games. I've not really checked out many many people who do this sort of thing professionally, which I know a lot of people do. I know there's a lot of pro strats and stuff to do things really well. I don't think I'll ever be that good. that's exactly it. They straight up do. But then there's also the downside that it becomes very corporate in the end because of how corporate it does become. To the point where being an independent VTuber makes it very difficult to grow as a person and stuff. I heard there are some people who are really good and they have like really good strategies for guessing things like instantly. Oh, hello. Where is this? Could be Italy. Could also be Spain. I need to see more. This bad cable management makes me think it might be Mexico, but these roads are too narrow for that. Oh, okay, hang on. One of these guys has got to have a website. Yeah, let's keep going. It should mean none of these companies have a fucking website. What if I want to do my shopping online? Like, I don't know, maybe there's a snow day or something. Okay, hang on. Oh, it's got a .com website, that's not going to help. Right, I think... I guess I was going to say Italy, but I think it might be Spain. I'm dropping it in Madrid. Boogie, how are you doing? Honestly, I've seen some people do some amazing guesses. In fact, one of my friends who used to stream did some GeoGuessr, and he ended up getting the street right outside the university he attends once. So he guessed it immediately to the exact spot it was at. I'm gonna have to lock it. It's either gonna be Spain or Italy. Nope, it was. Oh, damn it. Okay. I was put off by the roads. I thought the roads were too narrow, but no, Buenos Aires. Again, this place always fucks me up. It always gets me. Alright, last round. Where are we? Oh, this is going to be difficult. I don't think we'll get any road signs here. Right, let's move in this direction. That's what I thought as well, Buggy. So I thought, do you know what? It must be somewhere in Spain. So I just dropped it right in the middle. Turns out now it's Buenos Aires, but... Got a satellite dish. Imagine trying to get an Amazon package delivered out here. Still building it up though, so place is relatively flat. Well, I can do this. I can do this. Got outhouses. I imagine those would be fun to use. Okay. I mean, some of these houses look kind of nice. But I don't know if I want to live way out here and wherever the fuck place this is. Come on. Come on, I can think of this. Where are we? Where would this be? Hang on, plants. Those look like... Okay, well, somewhere along the equator. I'm gonna have to put in a guess. I've got 25 seconds. I'm putting in Ecuador. South Africa, okay. I knew it'd be somewhat temperate from the plants, and that's all I had to go on. I mean, Boogie, I think yours would be... No, it would be just as far away, actually. Yeah, that would have been just as bad. I mean, you'd be closer, I guess. You can actually walk to there from... Yeah, it was a wild guess. I did the same thing in the end. How did you do on the Wordle today, Boogie? Because I managed to get it in 3. Although it was with help from James, who gave me the starter word, and he actually guessed the word in the end as well. Yeah. Alright. Duolingo. Get some practice in. I want to get legendary on this one. Single challenge, let's go. A hotel and a convenience store. Okay, hang on. Settings. First of all, I want to turn the English off, so I'm actually learning the language and not just reading the English. So if you have that on, it makes it too easy because you can just read the English on top, and you're not actually reading the words. So I turn it off. Hotel. So it's going to be hoteru, which is this.
ホテル、
So konbini.
コンビニ、
A convenience store and a bus stop. Okay, konbini.
コンビニ、
So eki.
Eki.
No, that's a train station. We want bus stop. Bus day.
バス停、
University and convenience store. That's going to be daigaku
大学と
and konbini.
コンビニ
Hotel. That's going to be hoteru desu.
です。
The hotel is here. Hoteru wa doko desu.
です。
It's here.
ここ
Doko desu. The bus stop is here. That's going to be bus day wa koko desu.
です。
The train station is here, so that's going to be eki
駅
wa
は
koko desu. Where is that? No. It's over there. Sorry, I misread that. It's there, not here. So that's going to be Soko. Okay.
駅
Wa Soko
そこです。
desu. I almost messed that one up. Is that a train station?
駅
E.
です。
Ah.
か
No, is that a train station? That's going to be Sore wa eki desu ka?
ですか
Is the train station there? That's going to be eki wa
どこ
doko. No, that's where. Soko desu ka? No, this is a department store. Sorry, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Okay, that's going to be ie
家
departo desu.
デパートです
No, it's going to be koko wa
は
departo de.
です。
No, hang on. Ie koko korewa. Shit. Okay, got that one wrong so far. Okay. Is the university here? Daigaku wa koku desu ka?
ですか
Where's the convenience store? Konbini wa doko desu ka?
ですか
Where is the department store? That's going to be
デパ
departo
ート
wa doko desu ka?
ですか
No, the department store is there. Okay, this is the one I messed up. So ie
家 デパ
departo
ート
wa
それ
no
そこ
koko desu. Convenience store is there. Okay. Konbini wa soko desu.
です
Where is the university? 大
大
学
学
wa
は
doko desu ka?
ど
Doko
こ
desu
です
ka?
か
No, this is a department store.
家
Ie
これ
kore wa no. Is it? This is koko
も
wa
デパ
departo.
ート
Yes.
です。
Nope. It was korewa. Okay, I had it right the first time.
家
Ie kore wa
大学
departo.
デパート
Yes.
です。
Alright, that wasn't too bad. I'm a little rusty because I've not played in a while. I managed to keep my streak up by doing one lesson per day, though. Do I want to do another one? No, I think we should be good. You know what? I've only got 2 more left. I could do. Or do one more. I've only got 3 hearts left, so let's screw this up. I'm screwed. Where is the university? Daigaku
大学
wa
は
doko desu
ど
ka?
こでか
バス停はここです。
The bus stop is here. I think I'm definitely better at listening than I am to reading when it comes to Japanese. Where is the hotel?
ホテル
Hoteru wa
は
doko
どこ
desu
で
ka?
か
これは大学ですか
Is this a university? Is it there? Ooh. Is it there?
そこ
Or
で
desu
す
ka?
か。デパートはどこですか
Where is the department store? Is this a bus stop? Kore?
です。
Oops, wrong one. Kore
これは
wa buste
バス停で
desu
す
ka?
か。
はい、駅はそこです。
Yes, the train station is there. Is it here? Okay,
こ
Oko
こです
desu ka?
か。
それはバス停ですか？
Is that a bus stop? Where is Naomi? That's gonna be Naomi-san
3
wa doko desu
ど
ka?
こですか？コンビニはここです。
The convenience store is here. Where is the train station? Okay,
駅
Iki
です
wa doko desu ka?
これはコンビニですか？
Is this... Hang on.
これはコンビニですか？
Is this a convenience store? I got that mixed up, so I heard it, and I in my brain processed it in the wrong order because they put the subject in a different place than when you do it in English. Because I think English is the only language that doesn't put the subject first, and that's one of the things I find a little confusing sometimes. Is that a bus stop? Sorry, wa
は
buste
バス停
desu ka?
か
いいえ、これはデパートです。
No, this is Patrick. Is a department store.
はい、ホテルはそこです。
Yes, the hotel is here. Sorry, it's there, sorry. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I actually got a perfect lesson as well. I didn't fuck up this time. Oh, hell yeah. Do you know what? Okay, I'll leave it at that. I'll do the next lesson some other time. I actually want to talk more about stuff that happened while I wasn't streaming. So the first thing I got, there was some new Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay revealed, which I want to check out.
I've had a need for an Assassin's Creed set in feudal Japan since polishing off the very first game in the series, and Assassin's Creed...
Like, unlike some people, I'm actually excited for this game.
But has it been worth the wait? I got to play hands-on for several hours, and my verdict so far isn't just yes, but also one of relief that it has actually taken this long. The massive leaps in tech mean Ubisoft...
Like, I'm hella expecting this to be one of the most polished games Ubisoft ever puts out, because they're fucking depending on it.
My time with the game so far has been lengthy, and Assassin's Creed Shadows...
Considering how much has been delayed as well.
...a real contender for one of the best Assassin's Creed games yet. Sure, the proof of the pudding might be in the eating, but this appetizer has sated me thanks to some really smart design choices and a litany of incredible details.
I've been playing a ton of Ghost of Tsushima again recently, purely because it's one of my favourite fucking games of all time.
Yasuke and Naoe...
And sometimes I just want to read, like,
and have equal weight.
manga about samurai, play video games about samurai, like Ghost of Tsushima, and then watch Shogun or other shows about samurai because I fucking love the aesthetic.
A natural evolution for the way Ubisoft have been building on their characters in the last few games too. Ubisoft Quebec has taken Assassin's Creed Syndicate's twins
I might just stream Ghost of Tsushima later.
much further apart. As a result, Yasuke is a combat pro, but won't have any fancy assassin moves. He's able to do a limited amount of parkour, for instance, but is slower as he tries to keep his balance. It's best exemplified with the aptly named Brutal Assassination, which has Yasuke yell out to force an enemy to turn around before executing them, as he simply refuses.
Dude, I love that you can dismember them because he cuts up his arms off in that as well. I love when games let you do that.
Was one of Assassin's Creed 3's best ideas. It was also filled with animals that Connor could hunt and
So hang on, let me turn the quality up. We want full HD, please, thank you. I want to see all of this.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, you can still hunt down some animals, but rather than being about killing everything, Yasuke or Naue will pop out their sketchbook to capture the nature in front of them. These drawings can be taken back to the highly customizable
This is one of my favourite things about Phantom Pain in Metal Gear Solid 5. You can just literally build your own personal zoo.
Also be placed where they'll wander around. And yes, you can even pet some of them.
What a kind fellow.
Ubisoft Quebec have looked to, quote, craft the crap out of Assassin's Creed Shadows' depiction of feudal Japan, making sure they get all the little details right, from the rolling fog to the specialty trades of each settlement. Standing tall among them, though, there are over 30 castles that are like big mazes. Each packs plenty of character on its own, weaving together.
They've shown the map for it as well, and it looks pretty big.
To create highly detailed spaces that are interesting to poke around in. Whether you're Yasuke, boldly moving from room to room, or clambering and crawling around as Naue, often with viewpoints and challenges of their own, they're rewarding and complex spaces to master. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, but if there's one thing gamers crave, it's being small. Running around normal environments as a tiny pal, thus rendering those areas comparatively big, is just fun. Assassin's Creed Shadows doesn't quite get there, but it does allow you to get very close to the ground, which is sort of the same thing. Introducing the ability to go prone as Naue, to crawl through grass for cover or through little tunnels, isn't just handy for sneaking, but adds a whole new dimension to the series' always impressive verticality. That dimension is down, and if you go down, then the highs become higher. That's just science. Assassin's Creed Shadows has some seriously impressive weather and seasonal effects. As days turn to night,
I've noticed that they're going to do like more long-term storytelling and stuff as well. They've got things like seasons they can like pass cycle between.
Even so, unlike some of its predecessors, you can't change it for yourself. That's actually a great thing, as both Yasuke and Naue will have advantages and disadvantages depending on the conditions. The latter, for example, being able to more easily hide in nighttime's many shadows. Not being able to skip those negatives forces you to adapt, and to actually engage with the challenges in front of you. Visually, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a feast, but it's not just the game that looks good. It also feels intrinsically tied to play, which, for me at least, is always an important factor for a game.
That's one thing you can't really deny. Like, even the people who are really hardcore hating on the game can't deny it looks fucking good.
Story moments, but they're also vital for staying undetected in stealth. Lamps and candles can be extinguished from either up close or at range by throwing kunai, for instance. And there's even a new visibility meter that takes a page out of Thief's heist manual plonked right on the HUD. To top it off, visual flourishes even punctuate the more intense action. Strong weapon skill strikes adding a black, white, red filter to highlight blood spray and to give those big moments impact. Quiet or loud, well-judged visuals enhance them all. The hideout, which
Connor, how are you doing today?
is filled with details. From allied characters hanging out and shooting the breeze with one another, to spending time crafting the perfect courtyard gardens. One tiny detail that adds plenty of authenticity is how Naue and Yasuke's shoes will pop off as soon as they enter an interior, nodding to Japanese customs. There's no annoying cutscene for them popping them on or off either. Don't look at me like that, Shenmue. I didn't mean you. It's a nice touch that has no downsides, and goes to show that sometimes less can be more when implementing details like this. Let those eagles and ravens fly. Fly right out of the series, that is. First added,
They got rid of the whole like bird drone feature they had in Odyssey and Origins, right?
Bird for an aerial viewpoint has been core to the current era of open-world RPG-style Assassin's Creed games. They've also been somewhat divisive, with subsequent entries struggling to juggle their potentially...
I think it made the game too easy.
Assassin's Creed
Being able to mark everyone before you sneak in.
specifically aiming to keep players immersed in what's in front of them. Observe...
As much as I like the whole like bird's eye view aspect of things, I think they made the right choice by getting rid of it.
On the viewpoint you're looking out from. You can do this from anywhere. The higher, the better. Not just the collectible viewpoint fast travel points.
Because it felt way too overpowered being able to mark every single enemy in the stronghold and being able to tell where they are at all times.
At all times. Yasuke's strength isn't just for show. It's weaved into how he fights on a deeper level than the...
I think the marking thing is okay if you're willing to actually get into the base and look at the enemy yourself directly. But that way it actually encourages you to actually sneak in first and not...
alter the deployed move. Certain activities...
Having the option would be good, like obviously.
Practice these out in the world. Although they're all, it seems, unlocked from the start if you experiment. With 2 melee weapons equipped, Yasuke can...
But I think it worked better when it was more an RPG-focused experience, but I think if they're going away from that a little, back to the traditional experience, I think that's one thing they should probably change. I think it looks really good. Like, graphically, it looks fantastic. I think the story's going to be pretty good as well.
Stand strong together. My opening hours with Assassin's Creed Shadows naturally encouraging...
Obviously, I want to see more of it before I decide for myself.
While exploring non-hostile areas, you can toggle where you stand from the pause menu. On death, it provides a great opportunity to replan and tackle the situation as the other one. But even more, I love how the main missions provide frequent story checkpoints that allow you to switch back and forth depending on who you want to take on the next chunk of the mission. For instance, have Yasuke break down the front door and go in samurai swords blazing, or have Naoe scale the walls undetected. You can stick with...
It's out in like a month as well now, isn't it? It's coming out in March 20th. So a month and 4 days, I guess.
But which of these things is most exciting to you? Will you be picking up Assassin's Creed Shadows? Let us know in the comments. And
although I probably won't be... I'm not sure if I will be picking up, so I'll probably be playing Monster Hunter all of that time anyway. I haven't played Valhalla yet. The last Assassin's Creed game I played was Odyssey, and I never finished Odyssey either.
Hey everyone, I'm Lucy.
I liked it, but I felt a little too long and padded.
I got some hands-on time with Elden Ring.
So I played the network test for Elden Ring Night Rain. It's a closed network test over the weekend. It had some issues, like I had this one time when I was playing it, and the boss didn't spawn in for me, so I couldn't see the boss, or he was killing everyone, but everyone else around me was dying.
Maybe like 4 or 5 hours with it. It was interesting, I think. I went in there.
Yeah, I'm hoping it ends up being more like Mirage. So I played the demo for Mirage, because they had like an hour-long like prologue section you can play. And it played more like the games before it was an RPG, and I quite liked that.
I was really surprised, so...
I'm hoping if it's more like that, I think Assassin's Creed Shadows can be a hit.
And your
I did enjoy it more than the RPG ones.
Gathering stuff, defeating smaller enemies and smaller mobs, leveling...
Like when I assassinate someone, I expect them to die, not lose a chunk of HP or whatnot because they're really high leveled.
And then day 3 you have the big fight, and the whole time you have
The circle.
a ring of fire.
Yeah.
Forcing you across the map into...
I'm probably going to be getting this game as well. I think Harpy's going to be getting it, so if we do play it, we might play it co-op or something on stream.
Especially like Fortnite. I mean, the first thing you do in Night Rain is you're holding on to...
I played a lot of this as there's like 4 classes you can pick from. There's a Knight, there's a Guardian, there's a Fencer called the Duchess, and there's a Mage called the Recluse. I played all 4 of them, but the one I enjoyed the most was the Recluse, which is the Mage character.
On Elden Ring and has
like she has less HP, but she does like range magic damage, which I really enjoy doing.
I asked him, like, did you...
I like having like a spell sword character. I got a sword in one hand and a staff in the other.
We actually never had anything Battle Royale related, and just through natural design and experimenting with things, the thing that we ended up with had a lot of commonalities with Battle Royale. which is really interesting to me because it seems very much like a battle royale thing, but
you're not playing as 99
no,
other people.
there's no other people, and you just have to survive against these, the bosses and enemies, and so they're like.
It was very difficult though for certain.
So I've got an interview on the site as well as a preview. In my preview,
If you want, you can also try and solo it, but
you have to play this game.
is it the same map? It's not the same map, no.
I think
It's a completely different map, so you're on an island.
another big surprise for me when we were playing is just
But it takes elements from the main game.
from Elden Ring and other From games where you have to take that meticulous approach.
Yeah.
You have to weigh up every
You
option
got things like the Church of America and the Ever Jailed and stuff.
to use your abilities and use your consumables, etc. Whereas with this one, you get given a character. There's going to be 8 on release.
Yeah.
We had.
I think this map was fixed, but I think in the actual full game it's going to be sort of procedurally generated. So things won't always be in the same place. So you might go to one spot and there'll be a Church of America with loads of items and stuff. But the next time you play it, it'll be somewhere else possibly, or something else will be there, maybe like a mini boss or something.
Approach. You step back if you need.
Because when I was playing it, even though some of it was in the same place, like there were different things there. Like I went to one spot and there was like a rare item there, and then the next time I played, I went to the exact same spot. That item wasn't there anymore. Instead, we had something completely different there.
It's kind of funny. We were just
Just a random mob of enemies instead.
But then when it started to click, we got into such a good rhythm. Like we would drop and we would go, okay, we can kill this amount of enemies. That'll definitely get us a level up. And then
But it does help to know
there'll probably be some
where the mini bosses are hidden in the game, because
gameplay loop.
when you get a decent idea of where stuff in the map are, you sort of, like they mentioned, get into a rhythm. We're like, do you know what? We've landed here. If we go in this direction, we'll find potentially a boss here, which will drop something really good, which should then help us level up faster and get better weapons.
So if I'm playing like the.
And I like that when you do take out a mini boss or a main boss, everyone gets an item from it, so you're not fighting over who gets a really cool sword or whatever.
How you come into it, and then
And the items dropped are dependent on what to match your class, so you're not worrying about
you can use.
picking up an item that you can't use or whatnot. It'll always be something you can use.
Effectively use certain weapons, which is.
This is the class I played quite a lot of. It's a mage character, and it's quite fun.
Still use a broadsword. So that kind of tells you, don't get stuck in one type of archetype. Or
Yeah, you don't have to use whichever weapon you started off with. You can use every single weapon in the game. There's no weight limit either,
and then
which is really cool.
kind of pacing side, the moment you start moving your
Like you can literally pick the mage character, and then if you find a great sword, you start using the great sword. The only difference is it's level gated, so you pick up a weapon, and depending on how rare it is, you might need to be a higher level to use it. So you might pick up like a great sword, and it's like, hey, you can't use it till you're level 9 or whatever.
really faster. Reminds me of Sekiro.
Yeah.
And the same way you like Wolf can like kick his way.
I do think the little parkour stuff is a little goofy though, as in the animation for it isn't quite as polished like that there.
So
The way you climb over stuff, I think it looks a little rough. I'm hoping they do polish it up a little bit.
grab what you want to use. But
Because in the game, you randomly just jump on every single wall you can see to see if you can climb it or not.
You have, so if I, for
And it can look a little goofy at times.
but I only really wanted to use one. Each of the weapons would have this kind of passive buff, and even if I just have them in my inventory, I will have that buff, and so it is so worth it. And so sometimes, that I would have a weapon where I would get health back on critical hits, or and so maybe I'm not using that, but because I have it, I've got that passive going, and it was
it's really clever because it makes every bit of loot you find have a higher chance of being useful to you. Even if you pick up like some claws and you're like, I'm not playing with claws, there might be a buff in there that you're like, I'm gonna keep that just in case and drop it. And also like as you play, you can mold your style if you want, or like give someone else your weapon, drop it, which I think is a really, really fascinating way to approach it. And it makes you rethink the way, because I was playing as Duchess. Duchess, if we're
I
trying
did quite like the Duchess as well.
classic Souls archetype,
She has a skill where if you hit an enemy and then do her skill, you can reapply the same damage again.
which one, her ultimate is a kind of like she puts a veil above herself and it makes all your teammates invisible for a bit.
I thought the ultimate wasn't as useful though. Her ultimate felt like a regular skill, and her regular skill felt like more like the ultimate.
Ability is like a damage repeater.
Okay, but like those two should have been switched around, but I'm not going to say anything because it's a very good skill and it's very fun to use. I'm hoping to keep it that way.
And as soon as it would hit, I would use my ability, and basically you're getting that ultimate a second time.
Yeah, it would be so satisfying to see a chunk
Yeah.
of health go off, and then immediately the same chunk again, and you were just.
The kind of like thinking in being malleable is really, it changed the way I was thinking about the game, because I was using the Duchess in a dex build style approach, but then I found a halberd And the halberd I kept on me. Even
You also don't get to choose your stats in the game either. You just level up and your stats go up automatically depending on the character
the halberd with me
you are using. So some characters might have more health, like the Guardian class
built around.
had the most HP and the most defense.
So instead of running up
And obviously when they leveled up, their stats in defense and HP were higher than everyone else at the same level.
stamina meter, it's got like chunks to it, and every time you hit your teammate, it takes a chunk out, it fills it up almost, and if you hit them enough times, it fills that circle in and they come back to life. So the halberd I had ready to poke from a distance, and also the sweeping attack, because sometimes
I also kept a whenever I was using the melee character, I used a bow and arrow as my off weapon. Whenever my teammate was down, I'd just shoot them with arrows to get them back up, which was so useful. Especially when you're up against bosses that like big AoE attacks. That makes it difficult to get close enough to hit them.
So it was really clever to be like, oh, I'm not going to use this weapon unless an enemy is needing like control, or I'm using it to revive my friends.
Yeah, I mean, and there are other things that I really enjoy that kind of, you're probably not going to spend too much time with the experience doing, but things like when you finish a run, you get a bunch of rewards and then you can use those.
Carry over.
They also remixed a lot of the bosses from the main game, so they come in with more attacks and stuff. So one of them is Market Development. You can show up at any point and just chase you down across the whole map. And he has some new moves as well, that are like big AoE moves, because obviously he's not confined to a small bridge anymore, he's got a big open area, which means he can hit in more directions, which I thought was really cool.
And it kind of gives you that extra familiarity if you didn't play it in the base game, and so when you go out into Night Rain and you see, oh, you know, it's Bloodhound Fan. I mean, everyone's played Bloodhound Fan, but you know what I'm saying. It was fun.
Yeah, it's worth saying, like, as far as I could tell, there wasn't a lot of new weapons. This is a lot of stuff from Elden Ring carried over, and like maybe
but they're
some
in tiers.
Yeah, they have
too.
tiers and stuff like that. So like you know, you will see Roger's, you know, rapier, or like the Bloodhound Fang, Sword of Night Flame, whatever it may be. But because they add like buffs to him, it kind of gives him a fresh lick of paint. Other quick things like
Also the stats and stuff are sort of randomized as well, so you might find like the Rivers of Blood one day, and the next time you play the game you find it again, but it has completely different skills on it or something.
Pick are like hanging around Round Table Hold. There's a maiden character that's knocking about, looks suspiciously like the one from Dark Souls 3. And I spoke to Ishizaki-san and I asked about the bosses, because the first boss of night one, or day one, is the Centipede Demon from a previous Dark Souls game. So there's been a lot of, and in the trailer you can see the Nameless King is there as well. So there's been a lot of like discussion about multiverse stuff, and I did ask in the interview, is there an explanation for this, or is this purely a gameplay thing where
I think it's just fun, isn't it?
wanted to? And he said
It doesn't need to be a lore reason for everything.
I thought you were going to say that he replied like a Dark Souls NPC
like, so I wouldn't be surprised. That's not to completely eliminate the chance of them leaking it, but I'm no longer expecting some sort of multiverse or like connected Souls universe style thing. I think it's a case of like they needed bosses, they needed a lot of bosses, and they thought, oh, we can use these older ones, mix them up a bit, give them new abilities, and there are new bosses.
A lot of people are saying like, oh, it's going to be recycled content and it's not going to be good, but like every single Souls game has been recycled content. Like they use animations from the very first Dark Souls and Demon Souls games still in Elden Ring and like Sekiro and stuff. Like they recycle content all the time, but also like some of the best games out there have been recycled content. Like Majora's Mask, that is entirely made from Ocarina of Time's assets. And like people have this negative idea thinking it's lazy or whatever. But the truth is, like, when you have an asset library that you can use from your previous projects, it means you have more time to spend on refining gameplay and story, which means you can put out a better quality product in, like, less time. Which, you know, you would think is sort of something easy to grasp, but some people are fucking stupid and don't realize that.
And interview on the website on gamespot.com, and we will see you next
Genuinely wild to me, right?
Recently, I played 6 hours of Elden Ring Night Rain, and we were locked in for that entire time.
Turn
This
on
game
option.
is
There we go.
addictive, it's intense, it's way faster paced than I expected, and
It's like a game where you take 3 nights, I think it is, or 3 days in the game, and at the end of every day there's a boss, and I've only managed to get to the end of night 2, where we fought the Draconic Tree Sentinel, which kicked all of our asses in the end. I never made it to the end boss, which was the 3-headed like Cerberus-type dog that you saw. I think it's called like Tricephalos or something.
At the start of day 3, you'll fight one of 8 major bosses using all of the randomized loot and buffs that you've accumulated over the course of your run. Now, every session you play in Night Rain is supposed to be somewhat unpredictable. You won't always explore the same map, or receive the same loot, or face the same enemies. The one thing, though, that I found very predictable in every single one of my Night Rain sessions was this feeling of pressure. The pressure not just to...
It's a lot more fast-paced than Elden Ring as well. You don't have the chance to just sit down by a site of grace or whatever, or dick about in photo mode like I always do.
These characters
because you're on a time limit, right? That's why I like comparing it to Majora's Mask.
is coming.
It's similar to Majora's Mask in a sense compared to Ocarina of Time, where like, you know, it's a much more streamlined game, also much faster paced because you are on the clock while you play it.
To make these split-second decisions about where to go and what.
And it's replayable the same way.
Most importantly, whether we had the time to do it. So often it was a choice between defeating a boss and claiming its loot, or running away and living to fight another day. So many subtle changes have been made to the mechanics of Elden Ring as well, and all of these changes have been made in the name of speed and efficiency. For example, you can now vault easily over objects and even enemies as well to get where you need.
This is a lot trickier than it looks as well, trying to get that thing's back, because they're usually spinning around, constantly attacking in all directions.
Now you can press L3.
So you'll need someone to distract them while you do that. I've tried it. It was a lot trickier than it made it look in that.
On foot, which vault you so high up into the air.
Also, there's no fall damage either, which is always a nice plus.
So from high places, it's easy to justify jumping down and getting to where you need to be.
Thing is, my worry is I'll play a lot of this and then go back to the main Elden Ring game and completely forget that fall damage is in that game and jump to my death somehow.
This is the Recluse, a mage character that, like other characters, has an ability and an ultimate that you can use. They've turned the HUD off for the footage that they've given us, but I remember what these abilities and skills looked like, so I've drawn them, and this is where they are usually on screen. Your activated ability is on the left, and your ultimate is on the right.
The controls are a little bit awkward though. You can hold triangle and press either the left trigger or right trigger to trigger them as well, which took a little getting used to.
Or the ultimate. Now, the Recluse has an ability that is actually much more complicated than the other characters' abilities, and I think they designed it this way because the Recluse is designed to be a backline character. In Night Rain, the spells you cast are tied to the weapons you pick up. So you usually only have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 spells on hand, so From Software has given mages another system to sort of micromanage while they're standing in the backline casting spells.
I think it works really well as well.
Really quickly how it works. Basically, whenever an enemy or a teammate gets tagged by a certain type of damage, like fire or magic or holy, a little marker will appear on them, and then the Recluse can absorb that type of energy, getting a little bit of mana, but more importantly, filling out one of these small orbs. Then, when you've acquired 3 elements, you can unleash...
I think depending on which element you get as well, you get a different, like, big spell for it.
Based on the combination of elements you've
acquired. That's why I really like it playing as this character in the network test, because I like mixing and matching between them.
This character's skill expression is going to be...
Just finding out what I can do.
What these different combinations of spell are, and whether you're in the right position to cast them. And this is just this character's ability. They obviously have an ultimate as well, and this one is more straightforward. Basically, after a short delay, you can mark nearby enemies with this red tag, and once marked, if anyone on your team hits them, they will regain health and mana, which is incredible for the...
It can come in clutch during boss fight, that's for certain.
Now, when you cast an ultimate from any character, your character actually becomes invincible while they're casting it, which in the case of the Recluse is especially handy, as you can see in this footage where they use it to sort of mitigate all of the aggro that they're receiving. Okay, so the Recluse is the most complicated character to explain. They also even have a passive ability, just like the other characters do, but I don't really know what the Recluse's does. I think it regenerates mana somehow. Anyway, let's talk about the next character, Wilder, who
He has one of the best passive abilities where if he's about to die from a hit, he has a chance to not get hit basically.
find yourself using it a lot. On small enemies, it pulls them towards you, and on larger enemies, it pulls you towards them. One thing worth noting is it's easy to chain the hookshot into different attacks, like you can see here. The hookshot can also be aimed manually, hitting the terrain and launching you forward. Now, Wilder's ultimate also uses his left arm. The grappling hook opens up for an explosive blast. This blast
Reminds me of the cannonball from Berserk in Guts' prosthetic arm.
Animation and the hookshot animation.
Right, there's going to be an ad playing in just a second. I'll let the ad play. I'm going to have a quick toilet break. I'll be back in just a moment. So enjoy my BRB screen while I'm away. Be right back. Apparently everyone's doing really bad today.
Don't mind if I do. Too easy. With every breath, a purpose. A steady purpose. The correct outcome.
Pretty sure I can just pick him up. I don't even need to be sneaking. No, he's back up. I shouldn't have talked to him. Everyone.
Sanix 900 sent I, 47th President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, am proud to announce that I have joined Avatar Obi's exclusive stream team. Now Obi, as per our agreement, GG Skooma is now the official product that comes through the taps in America. We are working on getting it into Canada and Mexico.
Welcome aboard, Obama. I'm more than happy to have him as a partner for GG Skooma. We'll work on those international contracts soon. I believe my favourite president is now on my stream team. I love the way he drone strikes countries in the Middle East. My favourite thing about him. The other thing. End grapple, who have we got? There you are! Don't want to do with you. We'll have you be the janitor. Have you tend to the farms, I think. I'm gonna have you be a farm girl. Give me the money. Can they not see that mug I'm throwing at them?
Why? Why cake? What? Plate. Cup. Cup where? Cup. Why cup?
I'm just freaking her out with this.
Why cup, Obi?
The thing I always tell people who don't respect the disabled community is that out of every minority group out there, the disabled community are the only ones who can make you a member. And that's why you should think twice before you shit talk them. They are the only community who can do that to you. What's up, bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes? I'm hoping everyone's had a good week so far. Happy Friday. I know I'm a liar who says he never streams on a Friday, and here I am on a Friday streaming.
Oh, there's sharks! Should I try to fight?
I mean, yeah, you can try. I mean, they're not doing anything to you.
Oh shit! Oh, they are now!
Well, that's because you fucking started attacking them. I'm not helping you with that.
I started a war with the sharks!
Please stop declaring war on sharks. No, you did. I return. Got myself some snacks, some more drinks. And I'm going to continue finding out more about Elden Ring Nightwing, see what I missed out when I played it.
The enemy, allowing for a critical hit, but on every single enemy and boss I used it against, it also stunned them for a short amount of time, which was this unique animation that allowed my teammates to sort of get a moment to breathe or do extra damage. Wilder's passive ability is a one-time use effect that allows him to completely negate any instant of damage that would have killed him. You might have just seen it activate there. Basically, Wilder...
Any hit that could have killed him, he can survive, which is generally pretty useful if you're a new player to this and want to learn how to play the game properly. It's a very good all-round character.
Passive ability is this shield stance, I'm pretty sure, which increases your guarding capabilities at the expense of your movement. Their ability is this whirlwind attack, which seems to get rid of environmental effects like the Death Blight here, but moreover, its main function is to interrupt enemies, so that your teammates can get some damage in. In this way, the Guardian is a really strong melee support character, acting as a tank, but also as a tank sort of support for other characters around you. Their ultimate too is very team-based, with this aerial dive bomb that is
definitely one of the more cooler looking ultimates, that's for certain.
Because remember, you have to attack your teammates to revive them. This has a secondary effect, I'm pretty sure, of fortifying the teammates that are near the area of effect, giving them increased poise for a short time. I make it sound like the Guardian is purely a support character, but that dive bomb will be excellent for clearing groups of small enemies as well, and accumulating runes from killing enemies and strengthening all of your characters and leveling up is a huge part of the game, so that kind of group clearing is a really good...
If you're nearby enemies as well, when your teammates are killing them, you'll get runes for it.
Offensive capability.
So like, unless like you run off in the opposite direction completely on your own, you can totally get runes from your teammates, just like a shared pool sort of, if you stick together.
Making her very well suited for anyone who prefers a more aggressive playstyle. Her ability recharges extremely fast, like you can use it every 10 seconds or so, and it's a sort of stopwatch themed ability which takes
it charges faster when you do damage as well, I believe.
Damage that enemy has taken and duplicates it. This effect is shown by a white spirit that appears and sort of shows the damage that is being duplicated. Because you're so aggressive, the Duchess naturally gets a lot of aggro, but this is offset by her dodge, but also by her ultimate, which is a cloaking spell that cloaks you and your nearby allies, making you...
I didn't find her ultimate all that useful in the end.
Enabling a few different things within the context of the game. For example, you can use it...
Like, especially during boss fights, I found it like, it kind of like, was one of the least useful skills to have.
To disengage from enemies, or something that's especially good is using it to safely resurrect your teammates once they get downed. So, when you die in this game, you fall to the ground, you crawl extremely slowly, and a little circle appears above your head. This little circle is basically like a health bar that your teammates have...
When my teammates are playing Duchess, they never did any of this shit.
In order to resurrect...
I'm saying it right now, they never used their ultimate for any of that.
You only have one of these purple bars, the second time you have two, and the third time you have three, meaning that every subsequent time you die, it's more risky for your teammates to try and resurrect you because they have to stand there hitting you while avoiding aggro for quite a long time. And with some of these bosses, avoiding aggro is not easy. These bosses will often be a 3-part fight where you just have them on you the entire time. So resurrecting your teammates is definitely a tricky thing to pull off sometimes. It's also something that takes the damage you deal into account. So the more damage you do, the faster you'll resurrect your teammates.
This is why I get the bow and arrow on hand whenever I take the network test.
How to make your character stronger, how to make you do more damage.
Just switch to it when I need to revive someone.
Survive.
Hopefully from a safe distance, right?
They gave us is really quite good. It does a good job of showcasing things that are important to the game. But RP walking like this is not one of them. If you did this in game, your teammates will scream at you like, you don't have time to do this kind of thing. You are evaluating weapons and items and stats as fast as you can, because you also have to think about where to go.
Sessions tend to be between like 40 minutes to like an hour as well, depending on how many days you manage to last.
Is being able to look at a weapon and saying, okay,
You can play the game in like decent bursts.
I'm going to work towards this, or I'm going to leave this one behind, or I'm going to give this one to a teammate, that sort of thing. And a part of what makes this...
Like the network test period is like 3 hours long. And I felt in that time I could play like a good 4, maybe 5 matches.
In the sense that they have one number associated with the damage they do, and it's quite clear if...
Considering I never made it to day 3 on any of them as well. I made it as far as day 2 on average.
Played the base game, which skill is tied to the weapon, but what makes this so much more complex is that every single piece of equipment now comes with passive buffs that affect your character even if the weapon isn't actually in your hand. So you have 6 weapon slots in this game, and
you do have to do a lot of reading as well in regards to the weapon skills and buffs.
Confer a different passive buff that...
Which can, you know, put pressure on you to read quickly when you're right on the edge of the ring and need to make a move real quick or else you'll die.
Would you take with you? If you're playing a melee
Sometimes you need to grab everything you can, run to a safe spot, and then maybe probably sit down and look at what you just picked up.
And it increases the damage that charge attacks do, so you might want to base your build more around a charge.
Because you won't always have the time to stare at every single like difference between them.
You might want to grab
You gotta be able to tell at a glance.
Bleed seems to synergize really well with the stopwatch ability that duplicates damage. Being able to spot these synergies in an instant and try to make your build on the fly was a really big part of what made this game so fun to me. You should also be evaluating consumables, because you can only carry 4 stacks of any one consumable at any one time, and consumables are really good now. Firebombs are now handheld nukes that can be thrown in midair, and weapon buffs can be applied to any weapon, and they're powerful, so bear that in mind. Another thing that's really important is, ideally, you'll have someone on your team who's really good at quickly evaluating where it will be best to go next. There are a lot of important landmarks in this game, and many of them will be recognizable across multiple sessions. For example, you see that black rise off to the right there? So if you solve the puzzle and make your way to the top, you'll get a choice of 3 armaments and or buffs to choose from, which usually is a reward that's exclusive to when you kill bosses in this game. So basically every landmark has a boss within it, but some have interesting things as well, like we're currently diving down to Kenneth Heights Castle, which showed up a few times for us in our run, and inside this room there was a map on the table, and when you interact with the map, it actually reveals points of interest that usually wouldn't be marked on the map. For example, the locations of these silver scarab beetles would show up, and whenever we defeated one of these, a talisman would drop. Each character has 2 talisman slots, and being able to loot a talisman usually was a really big power spike for one member of our team. And I don't have footage of it, but Kenneth Heights map also revealed the location of merchants on the map, and these merchants were always next to a smithing table, and they always sold one type of smithing stone, which would have allowed you to level up your weapon. This is probably a really important mechanic to interact with if you find a merchant, because weapons have different rarities as well, which is something I should have mentioned. There's a common level 1...
I found as well, it's not really worth upgrading any weapons you get on day 1, considering everything you get in day 2 ends up being so much better.
We only found 2 of these, but there is a legendary rarity as well that...
Usually if you get a good weapon by the end of day 1 when you beat the boss, it's worth upgrading that, but don't bother upgrading anything you find on day 1.
Loot that run, like we didn't find that many...
Because you'd end up wasting, really.
That could be a bit frustrating. However, I suspect that the merchants and their smithing tables will be a way to consistently upgrade a weapon that might be common, but it might have a really good buff that you want, and so I think upgrading weapons could be a way to sort of smooth out the randomness of the game. At the end of every day, you face a major boss. So there were 4 different types we could face in this demo, and they were all very difficult, especially the ones that split into multiple versions of themselves or had multiple ads that you had to deal with, because that required everyone in your team to fulfill a role. And
So on night 2, I got the Draconic Tree Sentinels, and he was accompanied by 2 other Tree Sentinels, which was not easy.
Someone on our team who was not as familiar with Elden Ring, so they ended up taking on a tanking role where they kind of held up their shield and tried their best to keep aggro rather than dealing damage, and they did a great job of that. That worked really well because they could do something like distract the demi-human queen all by themselves, while me and a more competent player were able to DPS this demi-human swordsman down, and then
The team I had when I got to that boss fight as well was not very good.
there were
So they were all rushing the demi-human queen, not realizing the Swordmaster was killing everyone behind them.
coming up with ways to defeat these bosses on the fly and accounting for things that went wrong within the fight. So what you're seeing here is the end of day 1, where they've defeated the major boss, and now they get to claim a reward. Like many rewards in this game, it's a choice between 3 different options. Sometimes it was a choice between permanent effects and buffs for your character.
Dude, I played it, it's really fun.
Both. And again, you have to make a really
It's a lot faster paced as well.
what is best for you and your team. And then at the end of the day, the night rain recedes, and you can go out and explore again. But bear in mind, I'm pretty sure everything you killed on day 1
It's a lot better than you'd expect it to be.
so it was important to keep progressing around the map and finding new places to explore. Eventually, everything culminates in this.
I mean, that's probably why you don't think it's good. I've been playing the network test because I got into the beta period, and it's actually really good.
In this case, our final boss was called Tricephalus, a 3-headed hound that periodically...
They got whole new bosses and everything as well.
One for each member of your group.
And I felt the bosses were definitely made more for multiplayer. Whereas, if you ever tried to multiplayer in the Elden Ring bosses, they sort of take it in turns hitting you, depending on whether it hurt them less. Whereas this one, they can attack all of you at once, which made it a lot more challenging.
There's something to be said for not compromising on your boss design around that fact. You know, these bosses feel like they were designed to be taken on with 3 people, and everyone in your party is supposed to have a different role in these fights as a result. So, that's...
Yeah, way harder.
I mean, I could go on about all the different little things I've discovered, but I don't have footage for it right now, so I think I'll just give you my...
Well, you can try and solo if you want to, but it's gonna be fucking next to impossible to do so.
Software YouTube channel, you have to take what I say with a grain of salt, but I really did have so much fun playing this. In retrospect, I was a bit wrong about my analysis of the game previously, because previously a big point I mentioned was that, you know, Night Rain will allow you to get immersed in this ever-changing world and take in the scenery and just enjoy like a first playthrough of Elden Ring again. This isn't that. Like, you don't have time to...
You can play it with randoms.
This world sometimes.
I mean, I played it with randoms and it was fine.
Placed with this rush to explore and get stronger and overcome difficulty, and when your build comes together just right and that allows you to kill even more bosses even faster and get even stronger, it's a great feeling. And over the course of our play session, you know, we finally...
It's like Helldivers 2, to be honest.
Everything came together perfect.
I mean, people play that game with randoms all the time.
We managed to execute our strategies perfectly, and we finally faced off against the final boss and managed to take it down. If you have a friend or two who are into Elden Ring as well, and you think you can all team up and take on this game...
It's got a completely new story, but it does have its own story in it.
...experiences you've ever had. My main concerns with this game come from the fact that, you know, if you don't have someone else to play...
But it's a separate story from the main game.
...still be great played with randoms or played by yourself. I'm not as sure of that, and I think come the network test in a couple of days, people aren't going to have that many friends to play with who also got into the network test, and so I think some of the feedback might be more negative because of that, but as it stands, everyone I know had a blast playing this together, especially side by side in the same room with other people. It was just an unforgettable experience. The other thing I'm curious about...
Not even full price either. It's like 35 quid.
How random will the maps be? In this demo build of the game, again, we could only play one of two maps, but we've kind of been led to believe that maps will be somewhat procedurally generated and that they'll stitch...
It's going to be cheaper than the main game, it actually is.
And yeah, the demo had two maps, seemingly, that you could explore, and over the course of our session and over the course of the network test, when people play this, they're going to start figuring out these maps and understanding the best route through, and it will become familiar to them, which I don't think is the intended experience for Night Rain. I suspect in the full game, and I hope in the full game, maps are really, really randomized, and no two playthroughs are the same, so that's definitely something I'm going to be looking for in the full release. Anyway, I hope this video helped you understand more about the game. I'll be playing the network test and...
I liked what I played from it. I am probably going to be picking this one day one.
So subscribe, stay tuned. Thank you to Bandai.
That's what I like all FromSoft games though, so I know they don't disappoint.
And thank you for watching.
In this Night Rain video, we're going to be taking a look at the 4 night fares of Elden Ring Night Rain, or the 4 classes, if you will. These are the 4 characters that you're going to get to choose.
There's going to be 8 when the game comes out, so there's only like half of them so far. And I think they're planning on adding in more as the game is released, basically.
What these classes do, what they're capable of, and what their skills are to help you better decide which one you want to play on the network test in a couple days. So there are a few things I want to discuss first before we get into the specifics of each night fare. And the first thing is I want to talk about the differences and similarities between night fares. So the differences between night fares are their appearance. They obviously all look different. They each have a different passive ability, a different character skill, and a different ultimate art.
I do hope we get to customize them though.
Each run with.
One of the best parts of Elden Ring was playing dress up with your characters. And I hope we get like skins or cosmetic armor to put on them.
Begin with a Night Rain don't have passive bonuses like the equipment that you will pick up throughout your playthrough, so they're a little bit inferior compared to things you will find in chests generally. Each night fare has its own HP, FP, and stamina, and each night fare also has its own different colored relic slots. I will get into what relics are a little bit later in this video, but for now let's move on to similarities. The similarities between each night fare are that they all have no armor. There is no armor in this game. They each can use any weapon that they pick up as long as they are the correct level or higher, and they all start at level 1 at the begin of any run. So looking at the starting HP, FP, and stamina across all 4 night fares, you can see a few things instantly. You'll notice that Guardian and Wilder have more HP than Recluse and Duchess by a good ways, actually. And I think this is one of the reasons that these 2 classes
I had a lot of fun playing as a Recluse.
Popular amongst new Night Rain players.
Yeah, no fall damage. You can jump from anywhere. You can climb on anything as well, so you can just run up walls and stuff much more easily.
And you'll notice that Duchess and Recluse, even though they have lower HP pools, have higher FP.
And you can run a lot faster as well. The game is a lot faster paced.
Abilities and spells more easily than either Wilder or Guardian. So these 2 classes have more of a higher skill floor, but also a higher skill ceiling. And keep in mind that each night fare begins at level 1 at the beginning of every run, and that when you level up at a Site of Grace, your character is just going to level up automatically into the growth of that character. That means that your HP, FP, and stamina will grow depending on what character you chose, so Guardian should always remain ahead of Wilder in terms of HP, and Duchess and Recluse should always remain ahead of Guardian and Wilder in terms of their FP, even if they level up, assuming that they're the same level as each other, obviously. Okay, with those things out of the way, let's talk a little bit about each night fare, and we'll start with Wilder first. Wilder is an all-around warrior. He has great abilities, and he's likely to be a fan favorite, and probably will be the most...
His ultimate is one of the coolest as well.
Network test.
It's just one big fucking explosion.
And very fun to play. He begins the game with a great sword that has Stamp Uppercut on it as its weapon skill, and he also has a small shield that has Buckler Parry on it for those who like to parry. His passive ability, Sixth Sense, is extremely powerful. What it does is it makes it so that he cheats death a single time. Meaning if he would take...
He's basically got Spidey sense.
he will actually not be down that one time. And this is a really good passive ability for new players to Night Rain because it's going to prevent one death to them, and you're likely to die more when you're learning the mechanics of Night Rain. It's just a reality. So again, this is another reason that Wilder will be a new player friendly. What I don't know though is if this is just one single death it prevents in the entire run, if it refreshes after the end of each day, or if it refreshes each time you rest at a site of grace. These are things that need further testing.
I think it was like a once per day thing when I tried it out.
Claw shot. What this skill does is it launches out a grappling claw that can pull enemies to him. It can pull himself to larger enemies like bosses. It can break the guard of enemies that have their shield up, allowing him to do a critical.
Okay, I did not try that. That's a pretty cool technique, actually.
And move him quickly across it.
Just yoink the shield away.
Utility. It only has about a 6 or 7 cooldown as well, so you can use this all the time in combat. And keep in mind too, that skills you use from your characters that aren't weapon skills or spells don't cost any FP, so you can basically use this every time it's off cooldown. His ultimate art is called Onslaught Stake. What Onslaught Stake does is it's a powerful attack using the stake that you can find on his left arm that's one single strike that deals high damage and high stance damage in an explosion. Oftentimes, this ultimate art alone is enough to stance break some bosses, allowing you to go in for a critical strike. And keep in mind in this game too, that your teammates can continue to attack the boss through the critical strike animation, making critical strikes and stance breaks even more deadly in Elden Ring Night Rain than they were in the base game. The one downside to this ultimate art is it has very short range and it's very easy to miss with the skill doing nothing at all when you first learn how to use it. But keep in mind that you can use Claw Shot to pull yourself to a boss and then use this immediately afterward for a nice little 1-2 combo. Note that in order to use an ultimate art in Elden Ring Night Rain, you have to fill up your ultimate art gauge, and the way you do that is by attacking and damaging enemies and bosses. Ultimate arts don't have a cooldown like some character skills do, so you can't play passively and expect to use your ultimate art all the time, and you'll need to be aggressive in order to use this more often. Up next we have Guardian. Guardian is the best character for would-be tanks out there and those that prefer blocking to dodging. His ultimate is perfect for multiple enemy situations or for rezzing down teammates.
I think I prefer playing Guardian more than I preferred Wilder, actually, when I played them both.
Stamina than any of the other Nightfares you can play in the playtest, and he also begins with Guardian's Halberd and Guardian Great Shield. So between the higher HP, the higher stamina, which he can use for blocking, and a Great Shield, which is going to have better guard boost than a typical shield, he's kind of set up already to be a tank. His passive ability reads Plant Feet and Brace with a Shield for a more powerful guard, and what I think this skill does is that it makes it so that when he blocks heavy attacks, you know, the attacks that would normally push you backward, where you roll backward and you pop up with your shield, you might not take any damage, but you still get knocked all the way backward. I don't think that can happen to Guardian, so he can tank even the most devastating attacks without being pushed backward significantly. His character skill Whirlwind does like a 360-degree cyclone of air around him for just a split second that knocks enemies up into the air that land on the ground.
I didn't find much use for that one, but I used his ultimate quite a lot.
It's just great for situations where you have a lot of enemies around you, or if maybe you have an enemy behind you that you don't have time to turn around quickly enough. Like maybe one of your teammates falls out to you, hey, behind you, and you pop it and you're fine. Guardian's ultimate art is called Wings of Salvation, and this is the one where you see him launch up into the air, float for a second, and then come crashing down.
It is, yeah. It's still open world.
Backward and down and deal significant damage. And this has two uses, predominantly for large groups of enemies.
But it's a smaller map, and there's more than one map now.
It's a very safe, quick, effective way of rezzing teammates, especially if you maybe have like two teammates that are downed in the same spot during a boss fight. You can just use this and then land on them and res them. As the tank, Guardian is typically the last one alive unless you made a very critical error. So it's a good idea to save this ultimate art during some boss fights in case your teammates go down and you need a fast way to res them. Up next is Duchess. She's a little bit more challenging to play than Wilder in my opinion for a general attack type character, but she is more agile, she has a better dodge.
The map also does change every single time you start a new game.
Lethal in the right hands.
Every single time you load into it, the map will be different and have different things, different places, different bosses, and whatnot.
Dagger and some shield grease, and those are her only equipment to begin the game with. So if you don't like using a dagger or you want to use some other fast weapon that's like a long sword or a thrusting sword or something, you're going to have to find one before you can really take off with her. Duchess's dagger, though, does have a weapon skill that not only does an attack animation, but it buffs her dagger with magic damage simultaneously, so she can deal increased damage and buff herself from the beginning of the game. Her passive skill, Magnificent Pose, makes it so that she has the dodge that she has, and I'm pretty sure it also makes it so that she attacks faster with certain weapons than other...
Duchess was a fun character to play as.
Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what she does. Her character skill is called Restage, and what this does is it reapplies damage an enemy has taken over the last few seconds.
It's one of the most useful skills in the game, especially against bosses when everyone lands a critical hit.
Bleed or something off a target, or you all downed it with a critical attack and then we're hitting it a couple times to use this real quick. And this is the white phantom. You sort of see it come out of the lion and the other enemy there, the exile enemy, that reapplies that damage. And as I mentioned earlier, this can be really, really deadly if you have a player that's very versed in when is the best time to use this to maximize its effect. You don't want to hang on to it all the time, so you're never using it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more useful than her ultimate skill is.
Finding the right moments to use it is really the key to one of the successes.
I feel like maybe that should have been her ultimate, but I'm not complaining because it's so useful.
What this does is it makes her and nearby allies invisible for, I think, about 10 seconds. I don't know the exact amount of seconds, but it's somewhere like 8 to 10 seconds, somewhere in that range.
The thing is, the problem with that one is it wears off way too easily.
You won't become invisible, I don't think. But it does make you guys invisible. Primary reason to do this would be like to go into a room with like a bunch of enemies and every person could go backstab one independently and you're not like getting overwhelmed by lots of enemies, or during a boss fight to give yourself a brief reprieve to like heal or pick up a down teammate, or just to like figure out what your strategy is and just give you a breather for a second. Can be very valuable during those times as well. And finally we come to Recluse, who's arguably
this is the one I enjoyed playing the most.
But nonetheless is very effective in the right hands. Being able to replenish FP almost at will allows her to stay at a safe distance most of the time and prevent her from taking a lot of damage. So Recluse is basically your would-be mage class. She begins the game with a staff that has Glintstone Pebble on it and Glintstone Arc. So you have 2 spells at the beginning of every run you can use, and as you find other staffs, they'll have spells on them so you can sub them out, or different spells as you pick them up. Or you can put one staff in one hand and one in the other, or you can use a Sacred Seal in one hand or the other. Because there are no intelligence, faith stats, or requirements or anything like that, she can use incantations and sorceries interchangeably and it doesn't matter. But she will likely have a melee weapon in one hand and a casting implement in the other, or 2 casting implements. Now she has kind of complicated mechanics.
I never tried dual wielding staffs with her actually. I always had a sword in one hand and then the staff in the other. I think having 2 staffs at the same time to burn 3 or FP all at once.
This makes it so she can discover affinity residues that can be collected, replenish FP. And you predominantly see these when you damage enemies. You can sometimes...
It's more like a roguelike, so if you played games like Hades, it's more similar to that.
But
in the sense that you have a fixed build that you pick at the start of the game, and then you gotta start from level 1, and try and get to the end, and level up as much as you can before, the bosses kill you or whatever.
You can collect a magic residue from that enemy, and in doing so, she'll gain FP. And this is what her character skill is, Magic Cocktail. Her character skill allows her to withdraw that FP from the character, and her passive skill allows her to see the elemental affinity that she can withdraw. There are different elements you can withdraw. Magic is blue, fire is orange, and I think lightning...
You get to mix and match with them as well. It's actually quite fun trying to experiment, see what spells you can make out of it.
But you'll see a different colored circle depending on the elemental affinity that you can withdraw from the target. And you can't see it in the gameplay footage because there's no UI, but down on the bottom of this screen, each time she uses Magic Cocktail...
I'm more interested in finding out what the other 4 classes are and what others they'll be adding to it.
After she's filled that triangle by using that ability 3 times, the 4th cast...
I imagine they have 1 for each main stat. So they've got a strength one, they've got a defensive one. I imagine they've got a dex one, they've got an intelligence one. I imagine they have an arcade, like a bleed build one, maybe a faith build.
By what elemental affinities or residues you collected when you were using...
Maybe like a strength 2 and weapon
you can see 2 examples.
Character as well.
The first looks like a combination of fire, magic, and lightning residues, or fire, magic, and holy residues, which causes the Recluse to do an explosion on the target when she uses...
It's such a fucking powerful skill as well if you know how to use it properly.
Is a blue ball that seems to be circling the bosses that's constantly damaging it, and I think, if I remember correctly, this is like a combination of magic affinities, using it 3 times.
Yeah, that's CPD triple magic.
Twice, and 1 other element, I believe. It sounds really complicated when you say it out loud, but the too long didn't read version of it is basically when you damage an enemy, you're going to siphon out FP from them, and every 4th time you siphon FP from them, instead of siphoning FP, you're going to do some crazy animation that has a special effect based on the elements that you pull. And these 2 abilities, Elemental Defense and Magic Cocktail,
I've had some reps that I imagine, like, it'll be one that once you get the hang of it, like after a few sessions, Like, you can very easily sort of get the gist of everything.
Replenish your FP in order to keep spellcasting, and a large part of playing Recluse is the dance that
Like, if you played Elden Ring before, like, it'll be definitely something that you can get into a lot more easily, but it's quite a different game, so, like, there's still somewhat of a learning curve, because you gotta adjust to a lot of things as well.
Cast spells, use magic cocktail, cast a spell, use magic cocktail, cast a spell, use magic cocktail, then cast
The controls are mostly the same, though.
detonation or some ability, and kind of do that dance is what playing Recluse is like, and it can be very difficult when you're trying to learn Elden Ring Night Rain's mechanics and learn to do that simultaneously. The ultimate ability for Recluse is called Soul Blood Song. You will see this in the gameplay footage, and what this does is it marks all nearby enemies and bosses with a mark for about 10 seconds or so. That makes it so when you or allies damage them,
It's such a useful skill.
an FP for each time they hit them. So
Healing every time you hit an enemy, that's so fucking useful when you're fighting a big boss enemy. And, like, you got no more flasks left.
Sometimes you run out of healing potions during boss fights, and this can be very valuable.
Because you only get, like, 3 healing potions in this as well. I think
For you, if your FP is low,
as you level up, you get more. So, like, you start off with 1. I think it's like every 3 levels you get another one, something like that.
if you use it through some devastating.
Like, round about day 2, day 3, you'll be like level 9, 10, 11.
Because she has spells by default, they're very, very useful for rezzing.
On average, you'll have like 3 or 4 potions.
Most of the other players.
But the one thing I found a little bit annoying is they only give you health potions, not any of the blue potions. So if you're playing a character like Recluse, she has a skill that can drain mana from enemies, but like no way to replenish it out of combat. So you sort of need to run in and start attacking enemies in order to get your mana back, which can be kind of tedious sometimes.
So the last thing that I'll talk about,
Like if you just did a long boss encounter and you ran out of mana, and then before you can get to Site of Grace, there's more enemies along the way, you're sort of stuck without it.
every run
Unless you hit them with an element and then pull it back out of them immediately somehow, like with items like a fire pot or something.
relics are essentially
I would prefer that if the potion that they give you auto restore your FP.
in between each run that give you some sort of passive benefit that will improve your character and are kind of like the permanent progression that you gain as you play through Elden Ring Night Rain. Each Nightfarer has
The new boss designs look so sick though.
and their relic slots are all color-coded, meaning they can only use relics of the colors that are available to them. For instance, like Duchess has green, 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 meaning that she can only use green relics, and she cannot use other colors. So after your first couple of runs in the Night Rain,
The relics are things that you can equip to your character, and they give like permanent boosts
be the right ones that you need for some of them.
that don't get reset at the end.
Variants of certain relics. For instance, you have qualities, like you have Delicate, Polished, and Grand. Delicate relics have 1 passive bonus, Polished relics have 2 passive bonuses, and Grand have 3 passive bonuses. If they're named the same otherwise, then you can bank that the Polished version has the same 2 bonuses that the Grand version does. The Grand version just has 1 more. And lastly, there are specific relics that you can get that only benefit certain characters, like their passive benefit only applies if it's slotted into Duchess, or only applies if it's slotted into Guardian. So you want to be on the lookout for those and slot them into the appropriate Nightfarer for maximum impact. I really wish I could show you this, but we will have all this on the wiki for the network test. I don't have all of these currently, but as the network test continues, we'll keep adding them and updating them so you can see what all of these are. So that wraps up our video on the Nightfarers or classes of Elden Ring Night Rain. I hope this gave you some insight into them if you're playing the network test, or maybe you just wanted
the
to
next video.
even if you're not playing.
This is the release date trailer to show that state of play, which did actually get leaked before the game got shown at the event.
Colonel, tighten the security on this place.
Because the PlayStation Store actually showed the date when it shouldn't have. So I'm so fucking hyped for this.
America is out to destroy the Shagohod and get its hands on your inheritance. The Philosopher's legacy. Then they're out to kill me as well.
What's the story between you and the boss?
She was like a mother, and my master.
The Cobras will take care of him.
It is, yeah, that's Naked Snake. Plus, one of the things I really like when trailers do this is when they show the game in engine, they don't show you like a pre-rendered CGI bullshit trailer that looks nothing like the game. Like, this is the actual gameplay and cutscenes and stuff. Like, I wish more games did that, but they always want to have a fancy CGI trailer to show because they know people who like aren't like that into video games very much and just watch like a trailer and decide that way would buy games based on just those CGI trailers. Like, show me the actual game. That's what I want to see. But they spend a lot of money making fake CGI trailers because they know people would see it and want to buy it just from that.
I'm not finished yet!
It is. There's another trailer I'll show you as well. This is actually in game. Hang on, one button. There was another trailer that they had. Hang on. The release date trailer. There's this one as well.
Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield.
Is that why?
I imagine it would, because they kept a lot of things in it.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty.
The fact that there's multiple ways to beat a boss like that, and it's just, you know, the fact that they've left it in there, like, it's something I think a lot of people would want to see happen. Like, they want to be as true to the original as possible. And they did say that's what's exactly going to be happening. But it's one of the most iconic boss fights as well.
No. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain. That's what they were making you build? Yes. The Shagohod.
Dude, it pisses me off. I have a rule where I don't get excited by a game unless they actually show me the game. I don't give a shit about fake trailers.
It is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it. It will mean the end of the Cold War. And then the Age of
In fact, Ubisoft are very guilty of that sort of thing. They do it a lot. Ubisoft and EA are the two biggest offenders of that.
An ocelot never lets his prey escape.
The guy who did the mocap for Ocelot actually cosplayed as him to a convention as well.
Sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
And his name is Tornado, which is so cool.
To the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
Even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger.
Colonel!
It'll be our friend, the American defector.
Looks so fucking good. Let me show you the guy who does the cosplay of Ocelot. It's Tornado Yoshida, was it?
The Times.
He actually cosplayed Ocelot. Is that what his name was? Or am I thinking of a fucking Ace Attorney character? Tornado, yeah, that's right, it was Tornado. It actually was spelled Tornado. Yeah, he actually cosplays as Ocelot to conventions, and he can actually do the whole He's so fucking cool. But anyway, back to what I was actually meant to be
Listen.
talking about, not this one. Yeah, wasn't it? Crush. Oh, did it empty my queue out? It did. I know, I had more stuff queued up. Let's chat. Let me have a look. What other videos did I want to watch? I'm pretty sure I had more I wanted to check out. Let me have a look. Is there anything I want to watch else as well? Or should I switch to playing games? Monster Hunter Worlds, I've been playing the beta for that one. That game's out in like 2 weeks, I think. No, yeah, 3 weeks, just about. Yeah, I'll be streaming Monster Hunter Worlds when that comes out. I'll be playing a ton of it. It's one of my fucking... Like, World is one of my favorite games. Like, ever. I had a video about Grums queued up. What else do we have? Before I move on to that. You know what, yeah, I'll add one more video to watch and then I'll play some games. This is a video about the worst person on Twitter. His name is Grums. He knows fuck all about the gaming industry, but people seem to love him for some reason. Let's play.
In August of 2014, a blog post called The Zoe Post spread across the message boards of 4chan and began a watershed moment on the internet to restore ethics in games journalism and protect gamers' freedom of speech.
The irony as well, recently, one of these fucking Gamergate losers, who loves talking about ethics in games journalism, like, got tricked and pranked by someone who sent them, like, really fake misinformation about Assassin's Creed Shadows, saying it's been delayed till May 2025, and they published it without a second thought, without asking for any proof or whatnot. And then the other grifters also like, oh yeah, also I confirmed this with my inside source as well. And it just goes to show that these guys know fuck all about the industry and are just straight up spreading misinformation.
Diversity in video games. Questionable reactionary tweets regarding topics
because they don't give a shit about ethics when it comes to journalism.
Disrespects the age of consent conversation and easily falsifiable tweets. But why does Grums hold so much weight in the gaming community? With his large Twitter following, does he have a way with words that we have yet to grasp? Or does he cater to the most reactionary denominator? So let's examine Mark's past achievements and how we have our self-proclaimed, quote, savior of vanilla WoW.
And they miss their home and their community. If you provide a home for these veterans again, they will...
Yeah, straight up. They just want to, like, literally make people mad and then profit off them to the point where, like, they don't see their fans as actual fans. They are straight up. I think he's probably this close to doing an NFT rug pull scam on them. If he could get away with it somehow.
The quote, Asian side of my parents said it was time for law school, so off I go. In interviews, CERN notes that he obtained a bachelor's degree in cognitive science with a concentration in artificial intelligence. This starts what I would call the many white lies of Grums, seeing as there was no concentration in AI, nor was this indicated on his degree back in 1992. However, his
dude, he got his degree when I was born. This motherfucker is old.
Profile page. CERN would later graduate with a law degree from Boston University, concentrating on intellectual property and copyright law, which became a recurring theme throughout his career. CERN states that throughout school, he was still working on games on the side. His earliest credit was for art design for Star Reach, a DOS game published by Interplay in 1994. He then states that he started a game company during the dot-com boom, whose games were contested by Bungie and Blizzard. CERN would take a deal to work with Blizzard in 1998 as an associate producer for StarCraft. Much of his role in development is...
Absolutely not, no.
He would proudly identify his crowning achievement as the completion and shipping of World of Warcraft.
Which makes the fact that he's constantly horny posting about video game characters even more creepier.
And without his position as team lead, WoW could have not shipped. Like before, the validity of Kern's messianic claims have never been corroborated or refuted. Examining works written by former Blizzard MMORPG game changers, there mentions little to no impact that CERN had on the game. In my research and from private testimony from anonymous sources, CERN's role was nothing more than that of a middle manager, more focused on the money and marketing part of the game rather than the coding and gameplay savant that he portrayed.
Familiar.
However, the most curious thing is how his departure from Blizzard changed depending on how grandiose he felt. CERN embellishes that due to layoffs that occurred months before the release of WoW in 2004, this was Blizzard's parent company at the time, Vivendi, and did not reportedly affect the Blizzard offices. He was growing tired of the corporatization of games and that the passion for art making was lost. When asked to lay off his staff, CERN proudly recalls, quote, "I told the executives that we can't do that. We're a family at Blizzard. And don't just fire people haphazardly."
6 months after we shipped WoW, and I'll never forget the moment that I made that decision. It was actually 6 months before I left. They asked me to lay off the most successful team in Blizzard history on the eve of our greatest game, and they said, "You got to go in and you got to chop people." And I said, "No." I said, "We are a family. We've been telling people for years we're not Electronic Arts. We don't hire developers and then fire them as soon as we're done with a game. This is wrong." And I'll never.
So Blizzard do exactly that now.
He turned to me and said, "Well, we're a real company now."
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, I see. Times have changed now that money is here. Okay. And that's when I started to make my plans to leave. 6 months later, I sent in my resignation letter. They asked me, the CEO and founder called me back, said, "What can we do? You want a sabbatical for a year? What can we do?" And I said, "Nothing. I'm burnt out. I've got 2 Blackberries going off with messages about WoW emergencies every day. I need a break." So that's when I left.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well,
do you guys remember Blackberries? And now everyone's like, "Oh man, this cool phone is all about business. It's got a fucking QWERTY keyboard in it."
And wanting to
I miss physical buttons, man.
Other interviews still have another version of events where he wanted to strike out on his own in the MMO genre immediately. Whichever you believe, CERN left Blizzard in 2005 and never kept their name out of his goddamn mouth. CERN and other former Blizzard staffers ended up founding a new studio, that being Red 5 in September of that year.
It's an easy grift.
CERN was listed as the CEO.
It's like that's a problem with like right-wing media, Sanix. It's all just fucking completely soulless and they don't give a shit. Like, I often joke about how the right cannot make art in any way, shape or form that's meaningful. Like, that's all right-wing media is, and that's what all right-wing art is. Just shit that makes people mad and exploits them for views or money or whatnot. Because it's the easiest kind of content to produce. And whenever I'm arguing this point online with anyone, one of my favorite things to do is ask a question that I know the answer to. And I asked them, like, okay, you're here to argue that I'm wrong about that. It's very easy to disprove me. Just name one piece of right-wing media that's good. Right? Just any piece of media that's like, oh no, apolitical media. Something that has no political message in it at all, right? Because they always love saying they don't want politics in their games or movies or whatnot. And they can't do it. They always name the most political motherfucking thing on the planet. Like, I told them once, you're like, alright, just name me one TV show or movie or video game that has, like they couldn't name anything right-wing. And I'm like, alright, cool. Just name something that has no politics in it, because you apparently hate political things like LGBT people or women or people of colour. And the thing this motherfucker named was Godzilla, the allegory for nuclear weapons. They go, yeah, this movie has no politics in it. The most apolitical movie out there is Godzilla. It's like, okay, stupid motherfucker. It's genuinely all that they do shit like this all the time. And the absolute funniest part of this to me is whenever I ask them the question, just name me something that's right-wing and good, I know the answer to it. I know something that's right-wing and good. Like, movies, like, that I always bring up. In regards to that, if anyone ever got to this point in the conversation where they make a good point, I always tell, do you know what? There are movies made by right-wing creators, right? So Clint Eastwood, he's a Republican. He's a very avid supporter of the Republican Party. He's a very conservative person. He makes movies that wins Academy Awards. He's made $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino, both Oscar winners. And he's won multiple Oscars for his movies as well. So you can argue that he is someone right-wing who makes very good right-wing media. However, if you look at his media, if you look at his work, they're good because they're woke as fuck. $1 Million Baby, that's about women's boxing. Gran Torino, that's about racism. And, you know, someone coming to terms with the damage that racism can do to a minority family. But they don't want to admit that. Because the reason those movies are good is because of what they would consider to be woke being in the movies. Which is why I love making this argument with them, because I already know the answer, and they'll never get to it. And if they do get to it, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Like, the only other option they can give me would be those really shitty Christian movies that we all know is bad. There's no such thing as a good Christian movie. They're all bad, I'm just saying it out straight up front. Like, maybe The Prince of Egypt, if you count that one, but, like, not even Christians claim that movie either. Even though it's actually a pretty decent animated movie. But yeah, straight up, like, these people don't know shit when it comes to talking about media, and it's, like, very apparent how they're so, like, media illiterate, to the point where they can't understand the things they're watching. They mindlessly consume whatever the fuck you place in front of them. They're like a child with an iPad. Oh, 100% Xanax. They have a narrative they want to tell. And when you want to tell a good story, there's like a certain structure and flow to it that you want to follow to make sure people stay engaged with it. Because when people who are like really like right-wing want to tell a specific story, like that one fucking movie Ben Shapiro wrote with Cara Dune from Mandalorian, what was her name again? Gina Carano, I think it was in it, that completely flopped. What they want to do is they have an idea they want to tell, but like they Frankenstein the story to suit that goal, like you mentioned, and that always ends up making really bad fucking writing. Straight up. Like, it's just always been a pattern. Ben Shapiro's never written a good movie, and for good reason. Yeah, that's why I bring up Prince of Egypt, because it is a good story based on events that are written about in the Bible. But like, Christian peoples wouldn't see that as a good Christian movie because it doesn't promote their homophobia or other hateful views that other Christian movies tend to love to do. Because that movie actually teaches values that are in the Bible, like, you know, things like prejudice and not judging someone by the circumstances of the birth and shit, right? No, they don't want to keep that woke shit in there. They want to talk about how LGBT people are evil and going to hell or whatnot. That's what they think Christian values are. It's American Christianism. Anyway, back to this video, hating on Grums.
Not much is known about the studio's early days, especially without a single release project to their name at the time. But curiously,
Like, it's become synonymous with hate at this point, isn't it?
In 2007, only to close their doors in 2010. Around the same time, a Chinese gaming company, The Nine, would invest $10 million into the company that still needed to produce a single game. The Nine had hoped that partnering with Red 5 Studios would broaden their Western appeal and vice versa. And if you think that this is the end of China's involvement in the story, you'd be sadly mistaken, but no spoilers just yet. This is where Firefall enters the discussion, and it was a much anticipated
This game looks fucking awful.
sci-fi shooter that was supposedly to put Red 5 Studios on the map, and for good reason. CERN spared no expense to actively market the game and having the most eye-catching booths at events like GDC and the now defunct E3. CERN saw
You can tell all the money went on marketing when you look at the actual game itself, or what level there is of this game.
CERN took out at least 44 trademarks, including publications and web series that had nothing to do with Firefall. Before we get to the famous Firefall bust, though, some of the money was spent on very interesting things, like the following videos that have no relation to anything whatsoever.
Welcome to King's Landing, a city of kings and whores where anything can happen.
Yes, quite right.
Do be careful, because shit's about to get real.
Well, I'm the fucking king! Probably wrathy and wrathful and nasty when I drop a fucking hammer and evade like a passage.
There are two of these, and they are both equally as irritating to watch. And now CERN's spending magnum opus, the Firefall bus, and boy oh boy, do I love the Firefall bus. The pictures, the everything, what you're seeing right now is a $3 million esports and mobile development hub brought to you by West Coast Customs. Yes, the Pimp My Ride guys in 2013.
Apparently the bus can't move either because it's too heavy. They had to tow it to places.
Esports system. It would not experience significant growth for another 2 years.
Because they put so much shit on it, it couldn't move.
That he is, believed that it was time to capitalize on the market and strike while the iron was
Yeah, it couldn't move. It was fucking useless.
The week before Christmas in December.
It's like a metaphor for him, right? And his entire fucking career.
The company due to Chinese investors taking over. Still, AMAs of unnamed Red 5 staffers paint a much different picture. CERN faced allegations of
I think that's where the entire budget went in the end.
Red 5 employees described CERN as being prone to extended absences and having, quote, erratic, impulsive, and very disruptive leadership style. Staffers reported that he would send out a barrage of hate-filled emails all throughout the night and throw away weeks' work of development despite rarely being in the office and overseeing the project. He referred to his time at the company as his, quote, Kobayashi Maru. Something amusing is that Firefall did eventually get released in 2015 and
Did it?
taken offline in 2017.
I had no idea. I thought the game just was vaporware.
Forum post urging fans to tank the market price of the game so it would be cheap enough for him to purchase the IP.
Anyway, it's going to be an ad in just a second. I'm going to let the ad play and I'll see you in just a minute. Be right back.
Sanix 900 sent I, 47th President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, am proud to announce that I have joined Avatar Obi's exclusive stream team. Now Obi, as per our agreement, GG Skooma is now the official product that comes through the taps in America. We are working on getting it into Canada and Mexico.
Welcome aboard, Obama. I'm more than happy to have him as a partner for GG Skooma. We'll work on those international contracts soon. I believe my favourite president is now on my stream team. I love the way he drone strikes countries in the Middle East. My favourite thing about him. The thing I always tell people who don't respect the disabled community is that out of every minority group out there, the disabled community are the only ones who can make you a member. And that's why you should think twice before you shit talk them. They are the only community who can do that to you. Right, everyone get lit right now. Start blazing it. Take whatever drugs you have in your immediate vicinity and just get blazed and get ready. You have until I hit play again to make sure you're completely fucked out of your mind before we get our minds blown by Elden Ring. Really does. Fuck, he got me.
Wow, I didn't think you had this much in you. Does that mean that Goku guy is even stronger than you?
Oh, she knows how to make it hurt. I think that attack did the most damage to him. Well, let's assess him. Let's see what I can find out about him. Unable to read. Okay, you've heard it here, folks. Everyone, you've heard it here first, everyone. Sephiroth is unable to read. The man is illiterate. In fact, I don't think there's ever been a point in the game where Sephiroth, or even in the series, he's ever, read anything. In fact, I distinctly remember in Crisis Core, Genesis was reading to him a passage from Loveless, and Sephiroth complained about it. So I'm guessing Sephiroth doesn't really like to read because he is illiterate. You've heard it here first. He cannot read. This is a page, right, where he goes through a portal and it's completely dark. And what you do with this page, you fucking open it up. That's how you go through it. How fucking cool is that? How creative. Dude, I love shit like this, because it's not just using the comic medium because it's easy or whatever. It's doing it because they can think of a way to literally think outside the box by extending the page out, which is incredibly cool. This is what legitimately one of the best, like, not just comic book pieces of art I've seen in like fucking ages. Oh. We need to knock her out so she doesn't die. If we non-lethally take her out, she'll survive.
Regression has won you.
Alright, I return. We're going to carry on watching this video, making fun of Grums. And you know, I think I might play Ghost of Tsushima today. Just because I really love that game.
But here's a taste of this consumer-first attitude that you can expect from Mark Cerny. The claims about has Mark Cerny ever published a game come up quite a bit. Cerny has made several attempts to self-publish tabletop games, but has never completed it because it's too focused on being politically correct in the tabletop industry.
I can't imagine that man can ever make a very good game, in any way, shape, or form.
A studio called Mech Entertainment in 2014. The company raised $1 million in seed funding for an Oculus Rift virtual reality MMO called Voxelnauts. This game has never and will never see the light of day. Though interesting, as of 2019, Cerny has been peddling the quote-unquote spiritual successor to Firefall called Ember. And unsurprisingly, there's a controversy there. It seems that while in interviews he warned consumers about the dangers of games like Star Citizen, which by the way, when I was like 14, 15, I bought a Star Citizen ship for $300. The game is still not out yet, and I am 20.
Star Citizen is like the world's biggest fucking, like, well-produced scam, because that game is like never actually coming out, but they're selling so many fucking things in it.
Fans to buy in-game items that sound like a great plan. So, with Cerny's game dev history explored, how did Mark Cerny become the Grums that we know today? Well, it all starts with the gamer's favorite topic, politics.
Did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
Yeah, you see the
I love that guy, he's such a fucking joke. Every now and again he'll try and be relevant on Twitter by saying something like that. Again.
So, let's get into it.
And he just gets clowned on constantly.
US legislators were actually trying to pass laws that would crack down on piracy and IP use, potentially limiting fair use. In an albeit win for Cerny, he pleaded $50K of Red 5's money into League for Gamers. And what is League for Gamers, you may ask? Why, that is a political lobbyist group that would speak to US lawmakers about the particular interest of gamers and small game developers. And who's at the top of this pile? Why, Mark Cerny using his company's money, which could have gone to the employees who would be laid off during the dev time on Firefall, but you know, whatever. After his subsequent firing, with nothing to do, Cerny was listless until he stumbled upon Gamergate and the infamous Jake Paul episode of Law & Order SVU, which in hindsight you should watch because it's really funny.
I'm totally lost and it's freaking me out. Don't even, Anthony. They don't know what's real and what's a game. Drop it! Recoil. Not like shooting a video game, huh? Actually, it's exactly the same.
The following is a petition Cerny drafted in response to the heinous coverage at the hands of one Dick Wolf. Joining the Gamergate conversation in 2015, he would rebrand the now defunct League for Gamers as a safe haven for devs who believed in free speech counterculture.
Oh, like a safe space.
Interviews with Sargon in late 2015, early 2016.
A safe space for emotionally stunted men, I guess.
Because there was too much policing on both sides, but it never really left his heart. He tried to transition League for Gamers into an alternative to NeoGAF, which is another like gaming forum that most of you are too young to remember, and also is like the lefty version of League for Gamers, but it shuttered its doors. This marks the end of Mark Cerny and the beginning of Grums. In my professional internet opinion as a drama frog, Grums may have broken into the more mainstream side of Twitter as of 2023, but he's been steadily reinforcing his anti-woke persona since he was given the old heave-ho at Red 5 Studios. Grums found himself in his first big Twitter kerfuffle in the days of Gamergate, arguing with games journalists about the ethical nature of journalism and backdoor dealings.
Apparently he doesn't give a shit about that anymore, though. Hang on. Let's chat. Let me find the exact tweet. I retweeted it. Because these guys do not give a shit. Let's play. So, Endemian and Smash JT are two right-wing grifters, very similar to Mark Cern or Grums. And they're also like part of the same sort of circle, right? And Smash JT reported on a fake leak that someone sent to him in an email as a prank. He gave him misinformation, and this guy didn't verify it at all and just published it. And this other motherfucker straight up says, oh yeah, I also have a source that told me the exact same thing, despite the fact that it was completely made up. And the person who made it up posted about it. I think Airbag actually retweeted that as well, posted a screenshot of it. Let me scroll through. He does make fun of Grums a lot, which I'm always very happy about. Oh, what's going on here? Yeah, these guys don't care about ethics at all in regards to. Also, this was a thing. I think this was Asmongold's chat. Do you know what? I'll get into that next stream, I think. I'll say that for another time. No, it's gonna be too much scrolling. Let's just continue for now, I think. I'll have to look into that for next time.
Guys meant a lot more than just fast food, am I right? Anyway, Grums found himself banned for this post, which, I love a good Fed post if we're gonna be honest, but it could at least be like, funny about it. However, this and his previous...
I mean, to be fair, he should apply the same thing to the Westboro Baptist Church, right? If he's got that sort of thinking. If you want to talk about religious organizations extremist views, there's a lot of fucking churches out there.
Not gay, but is still probably gay and...
That the FBI should certainly be cracking down on.
Sorry. That's all in my opinion. I don't really know. I know that Destiny probably sucked his wiener. This is a story for another time. Sorry, I figured since we're pulling out the internet Necronomicon to summon all the skeletons that we might as well just run down all the words of power while we're at it. While he was featured previously in a 2015 discussion on the Gamergate movement and its fight against corrupt gaming publications, this was Grum's first taste of gaining attention outside of the gaming expertise and field, and moreover just into general social politics. Let's just say that the grifting and shifting never really stopped. Over the years, Grums would be featured on many podcasts discussing how WoW had been destroyed by the money and China, and that he was a champion for vanilla legacy servers.
But doesn't he also, love fucking Chinese censorship and, spread,
the collective consciousness
his cheeks for Black Myth Wukong? For being anti-woke and whatnot?
That showed an overall laziness in gaming. Remember, the same man who hasn't really self-published any games on his own once. But underneath the surface, if you dig and listen, Grums is always talking about how forced inclusivity is ruining the games industry and giving gamers lousy representation. It's funny how Grums spoke about how he had to back female developers to join his projects, and once they did, these women saw that he had created such a welcoming and safe environment. So let's examine his former workplace, Blizzard, and see what kind of work culture it promoted. Something tells me those former Red 5 studio employees were on the money with how inclusive and diverse that workplace abuse could be. I will give Grums credit where it's due. He has a point of regarding how gaming as a hobby has been received historically. We've gone from nerds being shoved in lockers, summoning Satan in our basements, and even slobbering over the first feminine voice you hear in a Call of Duty lobby to so much more. However, what Grums overlooks is that when he begins to grandstand, it's in the face that gaming has been changing, which is a good thing overall. Developers want their games to appeal to a more diverse market because gamers have become more varied, or more hyper-specific niche market because there's more markets that you can appeal to. More people are in the hobby because gaming is a hobby, and that strengthens our place in the cultural zeitgeist as gamers in the gaming community. But recently, Grums has been heralded as the charge for the new horde in Gamergate 2.0 and its new crucible. diversity, equity, and inclusion. The dreaded words, DEI. Now, if you're a normal person and not terminally online, you might not even know what DEI actually really is.
I love that he's against DEI, despite the fact that he brings up the fact that he's not white whenever it suits him.
A community called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected was formed to avoid games that use the consulting firm. Now, if you're running a company that consults with big-name studios on games such as God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2, you'd be more concerned about your work than some fringe Steam group that takes the color wheel out before playing a game. Well, in a twist nobody saw coming ever, Sweet Baby employees began to tweet about the group, calling for mass reports for the curator group and enacting what the internet lovingly calls the strike.
I love their anti-woke gaming list. It's one of the funniest things I've ever fucking seen.
Never interacted with it. The more attention you bring to yourself and the
I'm glad it exists. It just highlights how fucking obsessed these people actually are.
Especially if it's a contentious, politically based company. These lovely tweets can be found from a current employee at time of writing. And while made before their time at the company and its inception, the optics aren't very good. It all came to a head when the internet found clips of CEO Kim Belair from 2019 of GDC talking about promoting diversity in narratives and the importance of doing so, and how it's created more diversity in the gaming space.
The changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero males. And
Gross.
we're almost exclusively
Disgusting.
to them.
Makes me physically sick hearing those words in that order.
Cater to them like, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them the way that we cater to like a picky baby. We feed them the same thing that we know that they love, and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go, you love it, eat this, eat this, eat this. So that then when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which is be like, oh no, thank you.
I mean, she's not wrong, actually.
And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies, and they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do, just in case these picky babies don't want to play our games. And we've made a lot of progress. Obviously, I don't say this to completely go just give up. We've screwed it. But I think it's still amazing that I can be seated in a meeting and told that out of 12 characters, we already have one black one, so there can't possibly be a second. I get that way too much. And I once worked on a project where they had an all-white cast, and they expressed their desire, okay, we need to mix it up a bit. How about this character's kind of stereotypically French? So they have a beret, and they have a striped shirt.
That's what they think diversity is.
Okay, if you need to do that, can we at least make them a person of color? And they said, oh no, that would be weird. They're already French.
Games have become a much richer landscape today and continue to do so. However, claiming that if your dev team doesn't believe in your ideas, you should find a marketing department to scare them by telling them that the game will cause significant controversy on the internet isn't the best plan. In fact, it's kind of Machiavellian and evil, so I wouldn't encourage it personally. Like clockwork though, major gaming news outlets like Kotaku began to pick up the story and, use their big brains to identify why the controversy occurred, saying that gamers are just mad. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and preach to you why adding more diversity and complexities in your story can be a net...
Are you telling me, Boogie, that you don't carry a baguette with you everywhere you go in public? And there isn't a mime constantly on the street outside your house?
And this was clearly coming up again with Kotaku.
I bet you don't even eat croissants for every meal of the day either.
To openly discuss development processes and the lack of transparency will continue to be used as a straw man for bad faith arguments that characterize DEI as the imposition by nefarious unseen forces.
Do you have a view of the Eiffel Tower outside your window?
Reflection of the world around us. This desire to talk down to gamers and create an imaginary them that focuses on the...
You know that is actually very French of you.
I mean, are there idiots out there who think this way? Sure. But this is not the culture of...
In fact, that's one of the tropes I quite like in movies, is when someone's French, they always pull out cigarettes.
Games with gripping narratives and tight gameplay can sell no matter who's on the box art. As much as I love to dog on a good games journalist, how's this all tie back into Grum's? Well, here's how it relates to Grum's. He's been preaching about the worries of DEI in interviews and on Twitter for years now. Diversity is one of the reasons he lost his gaming studio, and clearly he hasn't been able to make a game himself. Grum's especially got onto my radar when he began to talk about tabletop games, which is somewhat of a specialty of mine, and he has a dismay...
I have to judge this man a little bit though, because if you look at the bookshelf behind him, those book spines are red, top 1/3. Those are Dungeons and Dragons book. And this man has given way too much money to Wizards of the Coast. He should be supporting more indie developers. I mean, I can see a lot of indie books down there below. But you should not be giving that much money to Wizards of the Coast. In fact, you should be stealing from them. You should pirate official D&D books when you can, and then give your money to independent publishers.
In a series of tweets regarding the new images from the player's handbook, the Dragon's revision, right? He's very critical over the art, and many of these criticisms are very annoying. In his first tweet, Grums cried.
I thought it was a thing, Boogie. No matter where you are in France, you can always see the Eiffel Tower outside of your window. No matter where you were.
Why wouldn't they include the species that you could play as in the game? Humans are boring. You know what's not boring? Gnomes. And more importantly, I actually have 2 copies of the player's handbook. They both look like this, and they have a surprising lack of white guys on it. This is the 5th edition. It is actually the most popular and easiest to obtain player's handbook for D&D. There is a lady...
I've been meaning to run a 5e campaign actually for a while.
Which is not applicable when you think about it. And a black elf. This is for 5th edition. 5th edition.
Okay? I've played so many systems on so many platforms right now.
So why are we complaining about the new one?
I do everything I can to avoid playing 5e on Roll20 though.
Not to be that
as
guy,
much as I can.
Why have you never complained about the other edition of D&D not having that? You know, the more important, more famous, more popular edition. In another tweet, Grums loses his mind over the thought of woke Mexican orcs. And I just find it so funny that Grums is so scared of orcs having any other culture than the one that is just the Tolkien-esque, I serve the Dark Lord evil orc that pillages and destroys villages. I mean, honestly, this is basically in line with someone complaining that the orcs in World of Warcraft have characters like Thrall, which are fully fleshed out characters that have complex emotions about the world and life they live. I don't know. He's only, worked on WoW. It's almost like he should know the idiosyncrasies of the main characters of the setting. In an interview with the YouTube channel Geeks and Gamers Tabletop, Grums...
What's that emote of, Sanix? I don't recognize it from anything.
...that comes in and has no respect for the...
Is it from anything specific, or is it so a streamer's emote?
...rewrite as a vehicle for the political message. Now, I won't sit here and claim that Mark doesn't have a point regarding writers coming into a franchise and showing a lack of respect for the material as a whole. Very famously, Henry Cavill exited the Netflix's Witcher adaptation over reports of writers changing the narrative to focus on franchising goals versus a...
I'm a little iffy on Henry Cavill because there have been obviously reports of like somewhat gamer bro behavior from him, but also like the fact that he's dated some really bad people like Gina Carano.
Furthermore,
this is about Grums. I'm not sure if you're aware of the guy on Twitter who talks a lot of bullshit about video games.
You would know that it's all used as a creative base and it's purposely vague with its language, so that way character creation can develop its own narrative.
The guy who's never actually made a game himself, but keeps trying to act like he's an expert about it, and straight up spreads misinformation.
Too accommodating and that we're at war. But the question is being begged then, at war with who? The almighty them? Companies? The J question? This happens with grifters like Grums a lot. They continue to look at the symptoms of the issue they perceive, but never the root causes. And indeed, large corporations do not have the consumer's interest in mind when creating stories and properties that appeal to a larger audience or emerging demographic. However, that doesn't mean we throw out the baby with the bathwater. We should encourage diversity in storytelling and get different ways to play.
So I'll just give you a quick rundown on who Grums is. Do I still have that tab open? Let me just look him up, Grums. It's this guy here. Basically all he ever does is post about wokeness and DEI and people of color and minorities and gay people all the time and hating them essentially. He's never actually made a game. He used to work at Blizzard, but never actually worked on a game in Blizzard. He was like a middle manager. So he doesn't have any coding experience at all or whatever, but all he does is post about video games and hating video games and wanting to cancel games because they got people of color in them or whatnot. And complaining about games for having women in them. And for having black people in them again, like this one here. That's all he fucking does.
Best part about TTRPGs is that you can create your own setting that reflects the values and ideas you want to see in the world.
Dude posts more about wanting games to cancel and not be released than he does about games he enjoys.
But it doesn't really matter to me. My players...
Yeah, I barely use it these days. I just copy and paste wherever I've posted on elsewhere, like Threads or Blue Sky instead.
Don't want to do that. And that's
the only reason I kept Twitter is because it's my brand-facing account, because whenever you contact companies for like keys for games and stuff like that, or like social media networking or whatnot. Big companies, they always want to see your Twitter account. So my Twitter account is where I'm at my most well behaved, I guess, because it's the one brands will be seeing before I make any like sponsorship or affiliate deals or anything like that.
And their racism and superiority and all of that stuff in a game that I'm playing in public.
I specifically made it look like a good streamer account.
But I'm not going to bring that.
So no, they're not going to bother looking at anything else. They're just going to look at my tweets and call it a day.
Consumers control the market. The customer is always right when it comes to a matter of taste. Supporting third-party developers of games or franchises that you enjoy shows those creators that their work matters to that franchise. If you don't see something you want in the world, you should make it. However, what Grums woefully is incorrect about is that we must gatekeep gaming as a hobby. By doing that, we become what gaming journalists actually believe us to be, an angry mob that grabs their pitchforks at the sound of diversity. Speaking of diversity, let's talk about ass and Ember. Ember is really the question on everyone's mind who looks at Grums. Where is Ember? The lack of significant progress in its development is a cause for concern. While early sentiment towards the game seemed overall positive despite Grums' lackluster record, the more attention he gets for his culture and political takes, the more the unsatisfied his backers become. The following are some screenshots from the Ember Discord citing some of the numerous complaints. Deleted, I might add, and general annoyance with slow updates. Part of this comes from how chameleon-like the game is when discussing the project. In interviews over the years, Grums has described the project as a video game, a tabletop RPG, and even has a novella in the works. However,
I don't think he even knows what it is.
Playable, and for those who gathered at least 600k, as
He changes what it is every single time someone asks him about it.
So what phase is Ember in today? Well, Grums alleges that he's working on a vertical slice so that publishers can pick it up. And we can return to how games used to be made. In this case, the games of the olden days are big breasts, mechs, guns, gore, and lots of violence. But how is he getting to all these big boobs, mechs, guns, and gore? Well, he's gonna do it with a small team of developers. Still, for any of his promises, Grums may need a little help in the form of everyone's favorite creative outlet, AI.
No way.
You can see some tweets Grums has been sharing about his excitement over Elon's talks over AI and how this may influence more remarkable game development. The connection here is that Grums is expressing hope that AI can revolutionize game development, making it more efficient and innovative. However, Grums, buddy, don't you remember the Leagues for Gamers days? What happened to creating a political lobbyist group for gamers and devs alike that preserved the sanctity of gaming? I don't know about you, but game developers would probably...
The dude has no backbone and doesn't actually believe in any of the things he's actually saying.
This week is taking their job.
It's all just hollow and empty.
Everybody's job is like kind of like...
I don't get how people can support people like this and give them money constantly.
Digress. In response to many YouTube exposés and complaints, looking at Grums and Ember itself,
especially when they give you nothing back. Like, this man has never actually released a game.
Vaporware is a term used in the software industry to describe a product that is announced and then never released, or released in a significantly different state from what had been originally promised. The result? Well, you can see the progress of Ember yourself. While clearly incomplete, the game is made of a bunch of pre-made assets, and whatever the hell is going on with this lady's it is certainly playable. I was contacted by an anonymous source about the recent playable demo for Ember, and let me tell ya, it doesn't look hopeful. From texture issues to camera complaints and a lack of innovative gameplay, one can only guess what Grums and his team have spent the last 6 years working on. And listen, there isn't anything wrong with Unity assets.
6 fucking years of development. Holy cow, I think they raised like $1 million for it as well or something.
Finances and small teams.
Or whatever.
But Grums and his daddy, by the way, his daddy is the owner of the company. Not something super crazy and earth-shattering. I have yet to secure... They've yet to secure a publisher for the game, so it makes sense. Furthermore, Ember has a history of stopping and starting development. If you take a look at their YouTube channel as it progresses, but halts 2 years ago.
I mean, speaking of Pirate Software, he hasn't updated his own game in like a year now, I think, because he originally started streaming because he was streaming game development while he was working on a game called Heartbound, doing regular updates for it, and then he started making money as a streamer. He just completely fucking ditched the game and left it unfinished, and it's still like in early access on Steam. And people straight up feel very scammed by that because like he's like, oh yeah, I'll make this game for you guys, support me and my streaming, and like, alright, cool. Now he's a big streamer. He's like, see you guys, I'm not working on this again for like
delivers on many of the promises that he's been giving to fans. The question you may ask throughout this is, where's all the money? I asked myself the same question when I began digging into the details of Grums' production history. Throughout his history at Red 5 Studios, Grums burned through cash, obtaining any and all copyrights and creating useless music videos that had nothing to do with Firefall. Examining his next project, Voxelnauts, $1 million vanish after Oculus dev kits are purchased with no game in sight. And Ember, on the book and in interviews, Grums states that it raised upwards of $600K. But still, the game is far from being finished. So, scouring the internet, you may find different theories on where the money is being spent. One of which is a small article that references a potential crypto wallet and such, but that didn't lead to anything anywhere. However, the echo of an idea hit my brain. Where had I known Grums to be involved in other types of tech before? Well, remember the mystery game Voxelnauts I briefly discussed? Its Kickstarter page leads back to using blockchain technology to create a game.
I love how the NFT bubble burst so quickly that every game they had developing that was going to use NFTs just fucking evaporated, collapsed, and weren't even released in time. I think there's like one mobile game, I think like Ni no Kuni, like spin-off, that did use NFTs and it completely flopped. Like Ubisoft and Nintendo both had several games that were going to use NFTs.
And is the connecting through line.
But in the end, just never came out because it was a waste of fucking time.
Asking yourself, what does this Oleg guy have to do with
Square Enix as well also had some games in development.
Well, I have a team of crack sleuths over at the Op Block, and they found something very curious that happened to Mech Entertainment. Mech was changed into Retro Ronin. This led us down a rabbit hole to a never-before-seen lawsuit where Oleg, Grums, and other former staffers from Mech are actively being subpoenaed for proprietary technologies created over at Retro Ronin. And what did they work on? Well, that's right, code. While there's ongoing litigation, as it remains to be seen, it's curious how Mark's game, struggling to make the finish line, continues to be in disarray with lackluster demos, despite the number of years being worked on. So where is the money going? No one knows except Grums. The court case is certainly interesting.
Going into a black hole by the looks of it. Or his back pocket.
But it's clear that he isn't transparent with his audience, and he portrays himself to be the transparent guy. Today, Grums finds himself comfortably positioned at the forefront of Gamergate 2 Electric Boogaloo. He's featured in a variety of interviews, whether himself or as his VTuber model, which, not to mog on him, but I think mine is better, personally.
You know what, I'll leave that video there. I'll actually play some games for a minute. Watch this. Yeah, I think I'm going to play some Ghost of Tsushima today. I've just been playing it a lot again recently, because it's one of my favourite games and I love playing it. Every now and again, just jumping back into it. It's like my cozy game. It's a game I play when I want to relax and have a good time. I'll probably go back to playing Alan Wake tomorrow, and I think I'll probably finish it this week, so I am close to the end of that game. I'll finish it before Monster Hunter Wilds comes out, that's for certain. So I'm literally on the last boss fight. And then, like, sometime after that, I'll play a bit of Monster Hunter, and then I'll start The Last of Us. I've actually tried playing the game with a Japanese dub as well, and I prefer the English dub. Because the English dub for this is really good. But one thing I do like is in the Japanese dub, they use, like, old Japanese, like not modern Japanese, so it sounds different from what you'd normally hear. It's like the equivalent of something like Game of Thrones is to us, where they use like archaic English and stuff. Which sounds pretty good. They did the same in the Disney Plus FX series Shogun as well. I like how stop, drop, and roll is a legitimate thing you can do in this game whenever you get caught on fire. Alright. Going this way, I think. Oh, there she is. I saved directly in front of her.
Jin.
Yuna. I thought you were in Yarikawa.
I can't go back yet.
Who did this?
Mongol warlord, Altan. I heard stories coming out of Otsuna. He's terrorizing everyone, stealing food, medicine, slaughtering families. If anyone fights back or tries...
Right, dear, I just realised. Hold on. My game captured the wrong size. It is, hang on. Did that happen? There we go, I think that's about right.
Is to run?
I just realised these subtitles were cut off at the very bottom.
An old friend of mine runs the inn down the road. I can't leave her with them.
We'll find your friend and put an end to this warlord.
Still wondering about how fucking pretty this game looks. It's 5 years old now, it still looks amazing. In fact, before I do continue, just realise, hang on. Graphics. Just making sure the settings hadn't changed.
Who is your friend?
Her name's Ichi. I've known her since I was a child. She taught me how to survive.
Have you seen her since the invasion?
No, I haven't seen her in years.
We should scout the inn.
We'll have the best view from over here.
That man might tell us what to expect inside.
Better talk to him before they come back.
Oh, hang on, there's items you can take first. That.
A samurai. What do you want? We've come to help.
You shouldn't be here. If they see me... We're looking for Ichi. She runs this inn.
Have you seen her?
God, help!
There's trouble! Get ready!
I imagine it'll be around the fall time, wouldn't it? That's what I'm expecting it to be, because the holiday period is when most people would want to see it, or would be looking to buy it. Hits.
There's trouble!
Oh, this guy snitched on me. Oh, this is not a good start.
There's trouble! The samurai!
Ichi! Ichi, where are you?
Oh, hang on, this guy's still alive. Oh, so is he. Sorry, but their healthcare was declined. I have to do it to him. Their insurance said no.
Ichi, you're alive.
Why are you here?
We came to save you.
You've killed me, Yuna. I was keeping the invaders drunk and distracted. But when Altan hears about this, about what you've done...
You were working with the Mongols.
To survive.
You should have fought back.
And you should have run away. Like you always do.
She risked her life to save you.
Do yourself a favor, my lord. Keep away from that one.
Ichi, we can protect you from Altan. Just tell me where to find him.
No one knows where he is. Not even his men. But if you really want his attention...
Tell me.
Find his most valued allies. The Japanese slavers who do his bidding. Make an example of them. And Altan will find you.
Who are these slavers?
Ask Yuna. She'll remember.
I don't know what happened between you in the past.
How's it going? I'm going pretty good, dude. How are you doing?
Had her chance.
I'm just playing some Ghost of Tsushima tonight.
What did she tell you?
Not enough. If we want to draw Altan out of hiding, we have to earn his attention.
The ghost can manage that. Where do we start?
We hurt Altan's closest allies, Japanese slavers.
The Momoshi brothers.
Ichi said you know them.
I bet she did. Those three bastards ran a farm near the river.
When you're ready, meet me there. We'll do this together.
Does it not send you a notification? Because it should do it via the app. I know it doesn't do it very often. But normally it should send out notification. Like, there should be an option as well to, like, make sure you get it. I know YouTube does it as well. I think the Twitch app has been a bit iffy with sending notifications, so a lot of people don't get them when they should. To resolve while in combat. Do I? No, I'll be fine without it. New gift available. Where do I want to get that from? Go back here real quick. Fast travel currently disabled, okay. Oh, is it? I must be in a cutscene or something, or does it still count me as one? Will it let me fast travel now? There we go. Yeah, I always try and make sure I post on everything when I go live to make sure no one misses the notification, because I don't trust Twitch to send it when it should. I have like a few memes prepared that I can just use
There's a man
and post whenever I am streaming, which I try and do as regularly as possible, but I don't like spamming everyone about it either.
Another survivor? Or a bandit?
I don't know, but I think he was crying.
We should join the Jito's fight. We're not cut out for swords.
My armor will dull the Mongols' weapons.
You have my thanks.
Done that one already. Hang on, where's the bow upgrade? I think they're over here somewhere.
No one could take us gun enough by themselves.
Bow upgrade guy. I can never get over how fucking good this game looks.
May I look after your bow, my lord?
I've never really properly played Sudoku. I imagine it would be something that I'd actually quite enjoy, but it's just one I never properly got into.
May your aim be true.
You know what, let's go to this trading post. Go liberate them.
Best boy.
Back, let me quickly turn the game's volume down a little bit so my microphone doesn't echo it. That should be fine. Oh, you're not gonna survive that. Do you know what? Let's get you there. Honestly, this game is a fucking marvel when it comes to like particle effects like that as well. Like just the amount of attention to detail on it is why I'm so excited for Ghost of Yotei, but I think I'll wait for Ghost of Yotei to come out on PC and get it then. Because I don't want to buy the game twice, and I know I'd rather play it on PC than on console. I've been playing it on Steam Deck as well, and like, it runs really well on Steam Deck. Don't ask how that horse got down from that cliff. He just went around somehow. He found his own way. One of the reasons I don't like playing with the Kurosawa mode, like black and white filter, is you miss out on all of this color. But this game just looks so fucking vibrant.
Where'd he go? Hurry and find him!
What was that noise?
Boogie, thank you for the resub, dude.
Boogarom just resubscribed for 4 months. I had that, but I didn't see it until the mail from Twitter.
Dude, the fourth AC game was one of the fucking best. I think that's when the series was at its best.
You deserve greater respect than this.
He can bow to things in the game, and he sometimes comments on it. Sometimes it triggers little Easter eggs as well.
May the slain find peace.
I imagine it would be. Are you looking forward to playing Assassin's Creed Shadows by any chance? That's out in like a month from now, isn't it? We were looking at the latest trailers and gameplay of that earlier on, actually. You know what, let me change my outfit for this one. Go with the Ronin attire.
They will pay for what they did.
Well, a scare an enemy or concealed by a smoke bomb. Do you know what? No, fuck it. I was gonna sneak in, but I'd rather just do this.
Nashi Samurai! Bastin Jamak!
Oh, they're still alive. Okay, there's more of them. Oh, fuck it. I can take him. Oh, have you? Okay. I imagine playing the first Assassin's Creed game now would be kind of difficult considering how... I don't think it's aged very well. But I believe the Ezio trilogy still holds up. In fact, that's where a lot of people would say the series was at its best. So have you not played any of the more recent ones then? Because I played Origins and I played Odyssey. I never played Valhalla. But I was mixed on the RPG games that they came out with. Like, some of the RPG elements were good, but at the same time I didn't like how it levigated a lot of content. And sort of padded things out. And then they try to sell you EXP. That's one thing I was not a fan of. To be fair, AC1 had more material to work with because they based it on a book about the struggle between the Assassins and Templars, so it had the most source material to work with. That's probably why the story felt stronger, because they were making less of it up. Whereas when it came to AC2 and the Ezio trilogy, that was more Ubisoft's own original writing. I think with Ubisoft writing the game, I think it's sort of a mixed bag. Sometimes they have really amazing writing with really good writers, but there have been times where, like, it's not been the best. Like, AC3, I think, is one of the weaker ones in terms of story. I loved Connor as an assassin. I thought he was a great character. I thought Hayden Kenway was a great character as well. But I thought the story was kind of all over the place, really. And it went on for a little bit too long in some respects. More of the what's the next door I need to get to? Beat that one. Not done this one. Let me go there. And we'll travel there from here. I love how quickly this game loads as well when you fast travel.
Someone's out there. I'll cut you to
Can't believe the game just spawned me directly in front of an enemy like that. Change my outfit again. I want the traveler's attack, so I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. I think the pirate one is the best one, though. I think you'll enjoy that when you get to it. I believe it currently has the biggest map in the series as well, because it has an entire, like, the entire Caribbean Ocean, doesn't it? And all those islands. And the naval combat is some of the best, like, gameplay in any game Ubisoft ever put out. Like, I know a lot of people get tired of the Ubisoft formula, but I think there definitely is a market for it. Like, there are people who really enjoy that type of formulaic gameplay. Oh, yeah, definitely. You've got some of the best ones to look forward to. There's a bird. What does that bird want to lead me to? Oh, I lost track of it. Oh, there you are. Alright, it wants me to go up here from the looks of it. Have you played Ghost of Tsushima yourself yet, or is this a game you've not tried yet? Because if you enjoy Assassin's Creed type games, I imagine this is one you'll quite like. Dude, a lot of Smosh's content, like the old school, like Smosh content, has aged pretty well. Like, it's still pretty funny today. This is where it gets difficult. There we go.
GG.
Those things can get very difficult. Because you only have like a split second to press those buttons in that order. And it's only because I've practiced it so much that I'm actually able to do it so well. Dude, I fully understand that Straight up. It hits different when you know you're playing on something that you earned yourself. In fact, I would say when you do get it, make this game one of your top priorities. It'll be worth it. But yeah, I fully understand that. I'm more or less the same. Like, if I want something, I want it, like, you know, like when it came to my PC, I wanted to make sure that's something I earned myself, right? And I paid for it myself. Well, hang on. I must now get off my horse immediately. I sent something. So this is one of the really cool things about Ghost of Tsushima, right? There's no UI in the game. Also, there is, and it's really subtle. I'm not sure if you realize what the UI is, but instead of a quest marker, the wind is blowing in the direction I want to go. But also, see that little firefly there hovering next to me? That's telling me there's a secret in the area. It's like a little homing beacon. And I see it from here, I think. You can see it, the faster it starts to pulse, the closer I'm getting to it. And it's so much cooler than just like a big red arrow or whatever. There we go. And now that I found it, it flies away. How cool is that, right? And you got birds leading you to like secret hidden stuff. So you got this bird here. If you follow the bird, it will lead you to something secret. And that's so much better than just like a million quest markers. If you just follow the animals like birds and foxes, they'll lead you to where you need to go. Oh, hang on, someone wants to fight. Oh man, these guys have armor. I've not got my armor on. Yeah, they lead you little fox kitsune shrines. Ah, this is what it's leading me to. Up there, I'm guessing. Yeah, let's try climbing up there. Okay, that looks pretty metal. Oh no, it's actually, is it my internet? Stream's gone, that's not a good sign. I'm hoping stream's back now. I think my connection dipped for a second. Let me know if it's back and working again. No, it wasn't you. I think my internet just dipped for like 5 seconds and came back. Not sure what it was. Virgin Media don't give the best service. It's happened a few times before. Don't worry about it, dude. How fucking gorgeous is this game, though? Like, there's so many points in this game where I just want to take a screenshot and set as a wallpaper or something. Not this way. It's why I love games that have really strong art direction. Because they age so much better than games that just want to look hyper realistic all the time. Like this game is. Give it a second. I think he did. I think Grums saw me making fun of him, and he took it personally, and he came to shut down my stream. He sent like a cease and desist. It should be fine now. I think it might actually be OBS. It might not be my internet. I think it might be OBS having issues. I'm very sorry if it happens again. I'm hoping it won't. Congratulations, Stanix, being first in chat, though. Yeah, it's something that you'd hear in most British cities at night. Especially when you leave the bins out. They are loud as fuck as well. Parkour across, I think. Don't worry, my portal parkour along with me afterwards. He's just very shy about his parkour skills, so you need to look away from him when he does it. I think it's because we've heard it for so many years that we're sort of used to it by now. Imagine anyone not from a country that has foxes would be quite surprised by how loud they can actually be. Must be going this way apparently. Somehow. There's a dead person there. Pretend I didn't see that. Sorry if you get hit by an ad break as well. I think it timed up normally with my regular ad breaks anyway. In fact, I'll use this time to actually just get to my objective. This is one of those games like Skyrim where I just love walking through the world because it looks so good. One of the things I quite like is how culture shocked Americans get when they come to the UK because of how different a lot of things are. Like, I think a lot of people who lived in America think the UK would be more or less exactly the same, and they're all surprised by how different things can actually be. Oh, hang on.
Finally, I was getting tired of waiting for you.
Ah, the trail of dead bodies were leading me to this guy. Hang on, let me put my armor on real quick.
This is madness. You're not a warrior, just a murdering dog. That's the spirit. Come on, Sakai. I've been looking forward to this.
This is such an aesthetic spot to choose for a duel as well. It's very scenic. Dude, I know about that game. I actually, I remember when it came out. There was a lot of articles about it when it did come out. Hang on, let me change my stance. There we go. Shit. Oh, I can survive this. I can get back up. Nope. Struck me down again immediately. Okay. Alright, that should sort things out. What I've done, I just turned the multi-stream off. Because I think the multi-stream was sending out too much on my internet at the moment. Hopefully it'll be more stable going forward. Yeah, apologies for that. I think it might have been because the multi-stream was having issues, so I just turned it off for now. I was streaming on TikTok at the same time. I think that might have been what was causing the connection issue. Where do I want to go next? I think that's where I need to go. I think the ad is going to play again because it counts as a new stream again, so sorry about that, but hopefully it'll stop being shit now.
I'm happy to offer my services. That's all I can give you right now. I'm sorry. I need more for that. I look forward to hearing of your victories.
I think I need to go up that way. Wrong thing. One of the cool things about this as well, I enjoy. See how the weather is stormy? The weather changes depending on how you play the game. So if you are honorable and, you know, play like a samurai and like face your opponents one-on-one and stuff, you'll get nice sunny weather. Whereas if you're sneaky and stealthy and are stabbing people in the back all the time, you get dark, stormy weather. Although you can play some music to change it if you want to. So play the flute. And it changes the weather of the game. And you can unlock different songs that give you different weathers as well, depending on how many of a certain collectible you get. And there is one song that can make it misty that I'm trying to get. So I can actually sneak around better. But yeah, the weather change to reflect your character and how you're playing. So if you've been honorable, you'll get good weather. If you've been dishonorable, like I've been doing, you'll get bad weather. Also, thank you for that follow.
sorry.
No, you're not.
Remember the old fisherman with 6 toes? Didn't he live in one of these houses?
Don't change the subject.
Fun fact, apparently David Tennant has 6 toes. I think they're over here, aren't they? There you are. Hang on, there's a bird. I hear it. There you are.
What's he doing here?
I don't know, I'll do the question in a second. Let me see where this bird is taking me. Is it taking me inside the building's roof? No, it's not. I'll have to check it out later. That bird will come back.
Yuna, what's he doing here?
We'll follow the bird some other time.
I told him not to come.
I wanted to help Lord Sakai. If I stayed in Yarikawa, I'd be useless.
Better useless than dead.
We're searching for missing soldiers. You're not trained for this.
I can learn. And I won't get in the way.
Fine. But be careful. And listen to your sister.
Yes, my lord.
Any sign of the archers?
Locals have seen them in this area, but we haven't.
Let's look around.
Look around for signs of archers, okay.
Someone killed them.
Wasn't us.
Arrow wounds.
Where are the arrows?
Pulled out to reuse them.
Sign of a skilled archer. Tracks. 3, 4 men.
Can you tell where they went?
Let's find out.
We used to come here to catch crickets.
At least once a week.
Then we'd weave tiny bamboo cages for them.
Do you remember why we came here to catch crickets?
No.
To get you away from our mother. When she was angry and looking for someone to blame, the crickets kept you busy.
I like how immersive the tracking system is when you're following footprints and you're actually looking at tracks and bent grass and stuff. But I imagine someone who might be visually impaired would really struggle with this unless there's a way to highlight it. I can see this being an accessibility issue.
The tracks lead to this house.
Didn't the samurai live here? You won a match against that traveling sumo wrestler.
Oh, a bear.
I'm sorry.
You have to be more careful.
We should check the house.
I'll look out here.
Gozan mats. They've been sleeping here.
At least the bear didn't get them.
How did the bear... Oh, there's apples everywhere. I probably came in here for some food.
The bear ate most of their food.
Maybe that's why I'm still alive. He wasn't hungry.
Arrowheads, bowstrings, hide to make adhesive. The archers must have been here.
Jin! Taka! I found something! The firewood is still warm.
Oh, they were here recently.
Staying in the house. They must be close.
I don't think I'm aware of the killer bear of Hokkaido. You fill me in. That sounds like something I'd be interested in, or I should know about.
They stole the Mongols' explosive barrels.
I like these archers.
Tracks here.
There they are.
Heading up the hill toward that ridge.
They're staying low for a reason. Keep your heads down and don't call out.
This is like that meme of like the person pointing a gun at someone and then someone behind them is pointing a gun at them. Like they're following someone and I'm following them.
A samurai! Alive! Get over here!
You must be the archers from Yarikawa.
What's left of them? The Mongols caught us raiding a camp for supplies. We barely got away.
What about the others?
Captured. We tracked them here.
We can help you free them.
You look like you can handle yourselves. I'm Daikoku.
Jin Sakai.
Sakai, eh? As long as you're not the Shimura.
Oh damn.
Let's have a look at that.
That's around the same time as the Chambawat tiger as well. I think there must have been something in the air or something at that time with in regards to killer animals.
We need to strike now, before they leave.
There's your archers. All in good health.
The sooner we free them, the better.
Bad idea to rush in. We know where they're headed. We can set an ambush along the route.
The terrain isn't good for an ambush.
What about old Yarikawa?
Rooftops on both sides of the road.
We can even use your stolen explosives.
You found that, huh? I like the way you think.
Good. Let's move before the Mongols do.
The Mongols are headed this way. Taka, get inside one of the houses.
No. I'm staying out here. I can fight too.
Jin, tell him.
Taka can decide for himself.
Then you can watch out for him.
Are you scared?
I really like the characters in this. Taka's a really good character, so is Yuna. Every character in this is really good.
Yuna's never.
One of my favorite things though is how people complain about Goto Yote being worked because there's a woman in it. Despite the fact that this game had multiple strong women.
Sometimes. Even Yuna.
Including a lesbian.
Even you?
Yes. When the Mongols took my uncle, I was afraid I'd lose the only family I have left.
Damn, that's one I didn't. Equipped with a body count. I've not heard of that beast before.
I'd be dead.
So would I. There they are. I'll shoot the barrels when the Mongols get close.
Lord Sakai, I'm not ready.
You can do this, Taka. Just take your fear and use it.
Yes, my lord. Now, my lord.
Not yet.
There we go. Oops. Did not mean to do that. I just fell through a hole in the roof. It'll still say just chatting. I think it's because it crashed earlier and restarted. There we go. That should fix it. Thank you for letting me know, Ivory Rose. How are you doing? I'm hoping you're doing well. Oh, no, don't throw that. You can keep it. Oh, that tends to be the case. Recovering from surgery is not a fun time. Hopefully it's over soon.
Lord Sakai!
Oh, hang on, that frame rate does not look good.
We are outnumbered, not outmatched.
That's not good. Hang on. Definitely an OB. Is it a game that's causing it? I think it might be. I think it was a game that's causing it. I think I might lower the settings a little bit. I think what's happening is it's using too much CPU, so OBS is having a tough time keeping up. Because I've got everything on Ghost of Tsushima's cranked up to very max. I think that's what the issue is. Doubtful, yeah. I think the game, because I got everything on max settings, I realized I haven't streamed this game in a while. What I normally do, when I'm streaming my games, I lower the settings a little bit so OBS has enough CPU to run. But because I don't stream Ghost of Tsushima very often, I just whack it all on max. So when I normally play at home, it's fine. But I realized I didn't lower the settings when I played the game again. Because you gotta sort of account for games. So you gotta account for OBS whenever you play games on stream. So I always lower the graphics a little bit. But usually when it's a game I'm not going to stream, I just have it all on maximum settings. And I didn't notice, I wasn't looking at OBS, I was just looking at the game. The game looked fine to me. I was like, okay. Nothing, no issues, no problem. Then I looked over at OBS, I saw like, what, 10 frames per second? I was like, oh, that's not a good sign. That should not be doing that. Let me lower things a little bit. Graphics. I've got everything on the very max. Okay, we'll leave it on high. That should be fine. So I was wondering, like, what is causing that? Because I'm pretty sure, because it wasn't telling me that OBS disconnected, so I don't think it was the internet.
Good work, Daikoku. Take your men back to Yarikawa stronghold.
Right away. I know you're a Sakai, but you didn't mention you're a ghost. Will we have your help breaking the siege?
If Ujimasa accepts it.
I'll make sure he does. The stories are true. I've never seen anyone fight like you.
Taka, go with Daikoku. I need a moment with Jin.
I'll see you back home. We did it!
Taka could have been killed, Jin. I saw him fall.
Hopefully she didn't see me fall through that hole.
Everything perfectly.
I shouldn't have let him fight.
You know. I know you want to protect him, but you're holding him back.
Taka's not a fighter.
He could become one.
You don't know my brother like I do.
You can't always be the one to defend him.
I'll decide what's best for Taka. You look after your own family.
Yeah, frame rate's doing a lot better now, isn't it?
We still need to end this siege.
I'll see you there.
Or was that 2 points? Okay. Should be able to get a few good skills from that now. Which one do I want? Find parry? No, that's not what I'm after. I think this is what I'm after.
If I move quickly, with precision, kill 3 at once, give me an edge.
There we go. Right, where do I want to go next? I'll do that quest later. I can liberate this place.
Lord Sakai.
Oh, someone wants to talk to me. Look at this guy.
How are the new recruits, Daikoku?
Their spirits have lifted. They know the ghost is with us.
I'll definitely look into that one because I've never heard of that before, but it sounds pretty cool. Like, I do like looking up cryptids from time to time. And that's just one I've never... like, obviously, I've not heard of that one before.
Improve your blades, my lord.
Thank you.
Oops. Did not mean to do that. I accidentally broke my own legs. I mean, I could get back up. Fine, they grow back. Let's sprint through this area because I'm not supposed to be going through this area. Let's follow this bird and see where she takes us.
Must be the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance. Tread carefully, my lord. Old Yarikawa is a dangerous place.
What happened here?
We were coming down the road and heard screams. By the time we got here, it was too late.
They must have killed each other.
No. It was the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance.
Spirit?
You know some of the tale, but not all. Long ago,
I've never been to London's MegaCon. I've heard many good things about it. But I'm not a fan of going to cons during the winter.
in every generation,
I think the only one I would go to is Birmingham cons, purely because it's all indoors at the NEC, so you don't have to go outside for it. It's the only time I'd go to a convention in the winter.
the Dance of Wrath found its greatest master in Lord Tokiyasa Yarikawa. Though beloved by his people, he resented Clan Shimura's power. Desperate to seize control, he set off a bloody rebellion that claimed countless lives. Lord Shimura's father and brothers fell to Yarikawa's Dance of Wrath technique. But with Clan Sakai's aid, Shimura put down the rebellion and executed Lord Yarikawa. Before he died, the traitor vowed to avenge his conquered people from beyond the grave. Now they leave offerings to his spirit at shrines in old Yarikawa.
I much prefer going during the summer because the weather's so much better. And the days are longer as well.
The spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance answers their calls with the Dance of Wrath.
You believe these men were killed by that spirit?
They were merchants known for cheating their customers, profiting from deceit.
I mean, I'm not going to mourn them, that's for certain.
The shrines overflow with offerings to the spirit, begging him for bloody retribution.
How do I find these shrines?
People burn a handful of straw and flower petals to make smoke, so the spirit finds their prayers. Look to the sky, my lord.
I love how I found this side quest purely by following a bird on the road. It's that kind of organic exploration that I love about this game.
Yarikawa's people Haven't forgotten.
And look at that, there's no quest marker or anything. It's just, hey, go look for some smoke.
Not to them.
There's no big fucking arrow pointing you in the direction. You just gotta go explore and you'll eventually find it. We'll look for some white smoke. In the right area for it. Hang on, let's try going high up. Maybe I'll see further out. There we go. I was just facing the wrong direction.
Quickly, Noble.
A shrine to the spirit of Yerikawa's vengeance.
Oh yeah, I love it when games do that as well. Though I can't think of anything else outside of Red Dead that would do something like that.
Traitor to our people. He's at the camp nearby. End his worthless life. They must mean the survivor camp.
The dude just wandering around out there. I'm guessing he's the guy that made the prayer. Oh, just one of the villages around here, okay.
I have goods of all kinds.
Powder. Oak. I want the black powder bomb.
Only the best for you. May your hunts be successful.
Who am I investigating around here?
Lord Sakai, how can we help you?
Which one of you is Hetaro?
I am.
Someone asked the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance to kill you.
Why would they do that?
He's a Mongol spy. Sneaks off every night for hours. Won't say where he goes.
I've done nothing wrong.
If you're helping the Mongols, I will find out.
I would never do that. Please, let me prove it.
Make him confess, my lord.
I'll explain, but not here. Follow me.
Go on, lead the way.
I can't believe they prayed for my death.
You should be more concerned about me. Unlike the spirit, I'm real.
But my lord, I've seen it.
Really? Where?
On the road. 3 bandits tried to rob me. The spirit cut their throats and vanished. This is where I come at night, my lord.
A grave. Who's buried here?
His name was Tojiro. We were close. But his wife and family were at the camp.
Oh, I can't think of any game that would be set during that period, though, I can think of.
I understand. But the people at your camp don't, and they're scared. It's not safe for you.
Where else can I go?
Make your way to Ariake. Go, before it's too late.
Thank you, my lord.
Especially when it comes to like big AAA games as well, set during those periods. There is, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it's not Roman, it's Greek. And I don't think it includes anything specifically that would be extinct that I can think of. But they do include things from mythology, though. Which I don't think it's quite the same thing. There was that one Rise, Son of Rome game that came out on the Xbox One when that first launched. It was like a launch title. In fact, is that on Steam now? I can't remember if they did release on Steam. Let me check. Is it there? No, I think that game's basically been forgotten about now. It was one of the big Xbox exclusives when the Xbox One first launched. Way back in 2013, damn. No, it was on Windows PC. Not on Steam, apparently. Unless I'm spelling it wrong. I am spelling it wrong. It is on PC. I've been meaning to check out that game for like years, and I just completely forgot about it till now. That's the only game I can think of set during the ancient Roman period that might have anything like that regard to, but I'm not sure how historically accurate that one would be. In fact, I've got a story for you. Do you know where the myth of the Chinese unicorn came from? Because the Chinese unicorn, the Kirin, or the Kirin, as said in called in Japanese, those actually existed. Although it's wild when you find out what they actually were. Like, let me see if I can find a picture of it. It's so funny because there is actual drawings of it. Yeah, it's a giraffe. Straight up. The Chinese emperor at the time says, "Oh yeah, he went to heaven and he got a unicorn from there." When really he brought a baby giraffe from a African trader. Which is always hilarious to me. Am I not here? Okay. Where else can I find white smoke around here? Oh, there we go. I see some. Fine, those legs will grow back. Hang on, is this the same one I've seen before?
Someone left a message for the spirit of Yarikawa's vengeance.
Mongols enslaved our people. They camp along the Kushi River, not far from the shrine. Destroy them. Oh yeah, I'm down for destroying them.
The Mongols enslave our people. They camp along the Kushi River, not far from the shrine. Destroy them.
Oh yeah, let me go look that up then. Cool. Ethereum. Oh damn. Google. Shiva's Beast. Okay. An extinct type of giraffe. Okay, with short necks. Interesting. It looks more like a tiger than a giraffe. So it's got stripes and everything. Well, in some drawings of it.
This is my fight, not the spirits.
I imagine the Mongol camp would be somewhere near this big fire I can see. I don't see anyone nearby. Damn, someone beat me to it.
Shieldmen. It took impressive skill to kill them. Not Mongols. Ours. Why were they killed?
I don't know, maybe they're bandits or something.
Calm down. I'll free you. Tell me what happened.
The spirit. He cut through them all. Then he left. Thought I was going to die in a cage.
Who were these people with the Mongols?
They're the ones who sold me to them.
You're free. Go.
Thank you.
I mean, why am I trying to stop this guy? He seems to be doing the right thing.
Perhaps to another shrine.
If anything, I should be hiring him. Maybe we should be working together, right? One of my favorite facts, which I like to say it's a fun fact, but like really it's just something that people don't consider, is the fact that George Washington didn't know what a dinosaur was because dinosaurs weren't identified until after his death, like a year after he died. So George Washington, the first president of the United States, had no idea what a dinosaur was because technically they didn't exist at the time. They were just bones in the ground of very big animals that were extinct, that had no classification. Yeah, I see some smoke over there.
Another shrine to the spirit. If there was a message here, the spirit already claimed it. A battle, close by.
Someone's throwing hands, and I want in on the fun. I want to join in. Where is everyone? Somewhere over here, I think.
The spirit.
Oops. Oops, did not mean to do that. Jumped in the wrong direction.
Stand and fight me! Alif! Hurla!
Shit, I did that too early. I normally never screw that up. No, as in the word dinosaur didn't exist until after he passed away. He knew about what fossils were. He knew fossils existed and stuff, but he didn't know what a dinosaur was.
Too late. The killer's gone. There's a way in through that opening below. Someone's been living here for a long time. A banner of Clan Yarikawa. Worn by a samurai of Yarikawa. Ugh, infested with fleas.
Can't be a comfortable place to sleep.
Written by an educated hand. But the words are nonsense. Something about Lord Yarikawa being alive. Offerings taken from the shrines to the spirit. Did a samurai of Clan Yarikawa survive? I have to find whoever this is. Need to look for another shrine offering.
This guy just go in and out through the window then, I'm guessing. Like I just did, because there's no, like, actual proper way in. See some white smoke over there. Oh.
Another offering to the spirit. Lord Sakai is the last of his clan, and a servant of the dog Shimura. Lead him to the Garden of the Gods so they may witness his death.
Oh, I'm next. Okay, bring him to me. That's very easy.
Kill me. I'll go to the Garden of the Gods and end this.
Not that far from here, actually. I can just get there this way. Sounds like a pretty cool place to do a one-on-one duel, I think. Oh, who wants to chit-chat? Someone's calling me. Where are they? You?
What do you know about the Garden of the Gods?
Only that it's a beautiful field of white flowers.
Beautiful field of white flowers. Not really much to go on, but... Oops. I need to stop doing that.
The spirit! He was just here!
You saw the spirit? Where did he go?
Toward the Garden of the Gods. That must be why all the fireflies have gathered there.
Very atmospheric. In fact, I think I might need my samurai armor for this.
Statues of the gods. This must be their garden. A shrine. But no spirit. This note's addressed to me. Yarikawa's vengeance has come for you. So you're the spirit.
I am the wind that stirs the ashes. I am Yarikawa's vengeance.
You spilled blood using a technique that died with a clan of traitors. Who are you? A samurai's daughter? Did you survive the rebellion?
No one survived. This is a land of ghosts.
We've got an audience and everything. People are queuing up to watch.
The peasants who bow to you. The merchants who smile as you pay them. All Yarikawa prays for the death of Clan Sakai and Shimura.
Not everyone. Some forgive.
The rest weep for revenge. I will bring them comfort.
Shit. I came in here with no health.
Vengeance.
You got me first. Shit.
At last.
I'm playing the game on lethal mode as well, which is the hardest difficulty you can play on, which makes it realistic in the sense that you die from a few hits, but so do the enemies. Shit, second hit got me.
In the end, you were nothing.
Gotta watch out, that's 3 hits. I keep getting hit by the second hit.
I see how you move.
Yabikawa is your grave. What are you doing?
Learning. I know how to defeat you.
No, you will die.
You are a great warrior, but you let rage blind you to the true enemy. The Dance of Wrath belongs to me now. I use it as you should have.
I love the one-on-one duels in this. It's so much fun. That's very good. Let me change my outfit to my Ronin attire for that one. I want to change that one to Toxic Demise. Go, and then I'll change back to my Traveler outfit. That's tacky, I'm not a fan of that one. Blue and orange. It's overused, especially in movie posters. Where do I want to go? Oh, I need to go there next. Okay. That's what I'll do. I'll travel then. I'll save the game. So let's notice the time. It's getting pretty late. I think I've streamed long enough for one day, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me save it here. And then I'll see if there's anyone I want to raid out to. Let's chat. Thank you everyone who tuned in today. I always really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see what I can do in regards to posting more regularly when I'm streaming, because I know Twitch isn't going to send out a notification when it should, and it's really annoying when it doesn't do that. I'm going to do a fucking two-factor again to log in. Well, let's have a look at who I can raid out to. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I might send you to friends. Let's see how long they've been streaming for. No, I'll send you to May. She's doing an art stream at the moment. And she's only been live for a couple of hours. So I'm going to send you her way. I hope you enjoy watching her play. Sorry, not play, draw actually. She's doing some nice art stuff. I think she's drawing her VTuber model. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with her. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll probably play some Alan Wake tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Probably around about 5 PM-ish. My usual time. Maybe even earlier, who knows. Anyway. Sayonara.